Recorded live.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Müvment Boxing Podcast. We got a lot of good topics tonight, man. Weekend of championship fights. I'm Twine the Divine Liberty of FoodJab.com, moderator, host. You know what I'm saying? I got my co-hosts and panelists on the show as usual. We got Bo and Bernard of The Truth and Facts About Boxing.
What's good, people?
All right, and we got 2K from the guys of Boxing Talk on tonight. What's good, fam?
What's good, Joe?
All right, Big Cool, Big Sloppy, Rocky Sloppy can't be on with us tonight, but we going to hold it down for our brother tonight. With that said, man, let's just dive into these topics, man. We got a whole lot to get into. We're going to start off with the Showtime card from last night as far as our fight reviews that we do. We'll start off with the undercard. Mikey Garcia versus Dejan Zlatecanin for the lightweight title. Great fight, man. Freaking great fight. The WBC belt on the line. Mikey Garcia, spectacular fashion. I'll go ahead and pass it on to my panelists on this one. First, starting off with 2K, man, what did you see in this fight? Did anything surprise you as far as, how everything turned out? Let's get your take on it, man.
I wasn't really surprised. There was, in the back of my head, I was like, all right, man, this is Mikey's second fight after a 2.5-year layoff. His first fight, he looked all right. He didn't look great, vintage Mikey, but that's expected, with that kind of layoff. Plus, in my opinion, Mikey doesn't have the same IQ as, say, a Guillermo Rigondeaux or Andre Ward or Floyd Mayweather, three guys that can take, 2-year layoffs, come back in a ring and still look closely as to what they looked before they got the layoff. So I was a tiny bit thinking in this fight like, hey, this dude is can be trouble for Mikey if he's not 100% on his game. But if you look at the reach advantage, I think he had a 3-inch reach and a 3-inch height advantage. Plus, Mikey's a very good boxer. He uses distance. He judges distance well, and he uses spacing very well. Knowing all that, it was kind of a foregone conclusion, but you still were kind of worried just because of his layoff. And when he got in the ring, man, basically what we thought was going to happen happened. You know what I'm saying? I think the knockout happened in round 4. All I know is
round three.
Okay, thanks, fellas. Round 3. All I know is round 1 and 2. I saw masterclass boxing. He was basically doing exactly what a boxer's supposed to do to a smaller reach, a shorter pressure fighter, and that's box the shit out of him from the outside, keep the fight in the middle of the ring, turn him, keep the jab in his face. Pretty much did all of that shit, man. So I was like, well, Mikey whooping this nigga ass. Let me go to the refrigerator real quick, give me something to drink. And then, boom!
Nigga can't.
All I hear is the TV. Oh! So I'm like, oh, shit. Barely, nigga almost dropped his drink. I come outside and shit. I see fucking Dejan Zlatecanin damn near dead on the mat. You know what I'm saying? This nigga heart stopped for 2 minutes, fam. I'm not lying to y'all, man. His heart stopped. Now,
you tweeted that shit, too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching the Box Nation podcast. It took them motherfuckers forever to give me the goddamn replay, man. So I'm hearing all this, man, what a great shot. And I'm like, well, what the fuck happened?
Check this out, 2K. We had to YouTube and Google the replay before they even showed it on Sports Nation. Like, that's how crazy it was.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Everybody texting me and shit like, bro, you see that shit? I'm like, no, I didn't see it yet. So they finally show it, man. It was what I like to say, the uppercut put him on Queer Street, the right hook put him to sleep, fam. Beautiful combination by Mikey Garcia. And then if you look at, he hit him with that uppercut. He waited for him to throw that right hand. and then he just snuck under with that uppercut, and then he stepped to the side. He stepped to the side and allowed Zlatecanin to fall to the canvas if he wanted to, but saw that he didn't fall, so he came back with a perfectly timed right hook. Dog, that shit was beautiful, man. All I got to say is Mikey is back. He's talking about unifying at 135. I was telling a couple other cats that I talked to privately, man, I don't see him unifying at 135 because I just don't see a lot of the other champions there, even including Robert Jr. trying to fight this motherfucker after that kind of performance.
Exactly.
So he'll probably go to 140, where he has excellent matchups against Terrence Crawford. I still think Victor Postal's in the picture, even though he just got beat by the number 3 pound-for-pound guy in the world. Victor Postal, you got Adrian Broner, you got a lot of different fighters there. Ricky Burns, that could give him a pretty good fight, man. So I'm interested to see what happens next. A lot of people are talking about Lomachenko. That fight's not going to get made. Bob Burnham's not going to make no fucking Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia, especially after this shit. That's not going to happen. Plus, Loma's at 130. That's not going to happen. So I'm interested to see what happens. But my prediction is he'll probably take another fight at 135, realize niggas don't want to see him, and go up to 140.
That's actually something I mentioned on the show I did with Bo earlier, as far as I don't see, you know what I'm saying, even Linares wanting to fuck with him after last night's fight. But I'll go ahead and swing it over to Bo, man. What did you see in this fight? What do you take away from it, man? There's a lot of talk about this fight last night and pretty much its future implications more than anything. So let me get your thoughts, man.
First of all, man, I wanted to say I'm glad to be here with y'all. I can't believe I'm going to say this, man, but I actually missed that light-skinned nigga being on this podcast, man. That light-skinned nigga can get you amped up with with the way he fucking stood at his bullshit. Yeah, right. Exactly. He got you and shit doing that bullshit now. But, man, listen. That fight, and nobody, I don't give a fuck who you are, what you say, whatever. No one saw that fucking shit happening the way it happened.
No.
Because Zlatecanin, damn. How you pronounce that nigga's name?
Zlatecanin.
Okay, right. Zlatecanin, right. He had never even been knocked down. Like, he had never even been staggered. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what 2K said was right. Like, everybody, including myself, was judging Mikey Garcia off the previous fight, which was the Rojas fight. We was like, man, he didn't look as great as we used to look at. What Mikey Garcia did last night, he put everybody on notice. He let everybody know, I'm fucking back, and I'm ready. Because I think they was even saying how whoever the promoter was didn't even want Mikey Garcia to take this fight. And Mikey was like, no, fuck that. Right, Schaefer didn't want Mikey like, no, fuck that. You know, fuck that. I want this shit because Mikey Garcia wants to show everybody that, hey, I was gone for 2 years, but don't forget about me. Y'all motherfuckers forgetting about me, don't forget about me. All y'all motherfuckers, you know, who asking me questions about Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford and all that, I'm going to show y'all. Hey, motherfuckers, not only am I back, but if anybody want it, they can come fucking get it, and this is what they got to look forward to. What I was extremely impressed about, and I've said this in a lot of our podcasts, I said Mikey Garcia is the most technically sound motherfucker out of that Robert Garcia gym of Oxnard, and it showed yesterday. Outside of Floyd Mayweather, I've never really seen Floyd Mayweather and maybe even Marco Antonio Barrera. I've never seen a conventional fighter get his jab going against a fucking southpaw. That shit was lovely. That shit was just so fucking. And when he got that jab going, I'm looking at that shit. I'm like, oh man, this might be a long fucking night for Zlatecanin. And we say this all the time. There are 3 spots that when your ass get hit with, motherfuckers, lights out. The temple, the earlobe, the jawline right below the earlobe, and the kidney shot. And when Mike Garcia hit that motherfucker with that uppercut, he hit him in spot number 2. And he short-circuited immediately. Immediately. So, I mean, it was, in my opinion, Mikey Garcia's knockout of that night was the best knockout because it was done in such a technical fashion. Like for all those that talk about technical fighters and slick fighters, this is why I love technical and slick fighters because they don't have to go out there and put their health in their face and get bruised all up to make shit happen. No. They patient, they wait, they look, they search, they pick, they use their abilities, and they make the shit happen. That's why his knockout to me was the best, because it was against a guy that never been knocked down or even been staggered. He was coming back off of a layoff, and he just like, I mean, this dude was like, you had cats trying to tell me how this dude is a B-level fighter, A-level fighter. I'm like, okay, well, if that's your thought process, then we just saw an elite-level motherfucking fighter with Mikey Garcia pick that motherfucker apart. And it was excellent. And I also want to say, though, I do like the sportsmanship that was shown in all these fights. In all the fights,
nobody gives a fuck about no damn sportsmanship. Nobody cares about that shit. With the way that nigga went down to the canvas dead, that could be knocked out of here. But the fact that they was worried about him, because I ain't gonna lie, I thought the motherfucker was dead myself. Especially when they dropped that fucking oxygen tank in that ring and shit. I'm like, oh shit, did he kill this motherfucker?
That ain't sportsmanship. That nigga was worried that he just caught a body, nigga. That's what the fuck that is.
What they said? Homicide.
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, though, man, Mikey Garcia, man, excellent. Man, I mean, you can't say no more than that. Nobody expected that. Mikey Garcia is back, man. This is the guy that was, before he went out, was being mentioned on a lot of people's pound-for-pound list, and man, now we see why.
Man, I'm going to piggyback off of Bo, man. That orthodox against the southpaw was one of the things, I paid attention to in this bout, and Mikey was able to get his jab off, which is not easy to do against a southpaw fighter. His foot placement was excellent all night. He kept turning him. His movement his foot movement was great. He was able to pick his shots, early. I didn't think it would be like that. The fight definitely surprised me as far as how it turned out. I didn't see him knocking Zlatecanin out. This is a guy that's known for, being a bully. And, Mikey took it to his ass in round one easily. The jab was there all night. He kept his foot out on the outside, which left that, made his jab easy to throw. He started, I kind of knew something was going to happen in round three because he started picking his shots and going to the body. And I was like, yeah, so he's setting something up. And, like I was like 2K, I had to Google the damn replay before they showed it on Sky Sports because I was streaming it at work last night. But Norrin, let me get your angle on a couple of things, man. What are your thoughts on this? Not so much about the technical side of the fight, but the aftermath, because there's been so much talk on the damn rooms today about this fight as far as what's next. I was on Bo's show earlier and got into it as far as who's going to fight him next at 135, his options. What do you see happening with him? To me, I think really now after seeing that, I don't think Linares will fight him. I think Flanagan might be the only champ willing to unify against him immediately in the division. Let me get your thoughts on that. What do you think? What do you see coming up for Garcia after such a stunning, impressive, important performance?
I'm going to say this. I definitely don't see Robert Easter going in there against Mikey Garcia. I feel like they'll keep him away for a couple more fights. Who's the promoter of Flanagan?
I want to say Frank Warren.
Yeah, I think it's Frank Warren.
Okay, they may take their chance and try to unify that one.
Not with Frank. Frank Warren ain't making that shit.
Okay, Frank ain't making that kind of bread. To lose up like that.
Yep.
Okay, so he'll keep that WBO belt in the UK. Okay. And Jorge Linares is under the Golden Boy, right?
Yeah, and Oscar going to coke binge if that motherfucker. Oscar going to go on the coke binge if that motherfucker lose. Yeah, he ain't making that fight.
At this point in time, the only person I could see them trying to make a unification rally is, I don't think it'll be Robert Easter right now, but give Easter 2 to 3 more fights. I'd say by 2018.
Yeah.
2018. That's because that's they both out-having fighters, so I can see that happening. But if not, I can see Robert Easter going up there to the 140-pound division, and I see him going against Broner.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He definitely, Mikey Garcia definitely.
But I definitely want to see him against Crawford, too. If Crawford don't move to 147 and stays there trying to unify, I definitely would like to see that matchup as well.
Hell yeah, that's an excellent matchup.
Yeah.
You
definitely. Go ahead, TK.
Let me slide something in, man, because my perspective is a little different than everybody else's. I want the listeners to understand where I'm coming from. The reason why I'm not too astonished by him beating Zlatecanin the way he did is because if you watch the Ricky Burns fight, Ricky Burns was outboxing the shit out of Zlatecanin in the second half of their fight. And Ricky Burns is nowhere near the kind of boxer Mikey Garcia is whenever he has a level head. You know what I'm saying? It was really just about, okay, this is second fight off a layoff. Is his head level? Is he 100%? Is he ready? And that's exactly what he was. If we had a 100% Mikey Garcia, there was no way Zlatecanin would have been able to hold that nigga's jockstrap, man. And that's what we saw. So.
Yeah, so I think the knockout win didn't surprise you. Did you expect a knockout, or did you have it going decision in your prediction?
I didn't expect a knockout. I'll say that, but I'm not surprised that it happened. I was mad that I missed the shit, but I wasn't surprised that he knocked him out. And it's just like I said, going off of the Ricky Burns fight, Zlatecanin was the same guy after the Ricky Burns fight. He hadn't changed. So if Ricky Burns can outbox him in the second half of their fight. And end up losing only to a split decision, which if you watch that fight, Zlatecanin dominated the first 6, and it went to a split decision. If he can do that, Mikey Garcia would have beat this motherfucker 120 to 108. You see what I'm saying? It was really, like I said, just about whether or not he's ready, just being a second fight off of a layoff.
Yeah, and like a lot of people are surprised at how his power has been carrying up. You know, like let's not forget this is his third weight class he's going up, and he fought against a stocky guy that's actually made for that division. So it wasn't like he fought a chump. You know, like Bo said, Zlatecanin had never been knocked down in his career. You know, and Mikey, you know, he wrecked that motherfucker's world last night, boy. And definitely took some time off of his career being knocked out like that. They had to bring out the oxygen mask. I guess we could go on into our next fight, which was the main event. As you know, Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, the rematch for the WBA featherweight title. Frampton was just named 2016 Fighter of the Year by the BWAA this past week as well. So, yeah, definitely a big one. Leo Santa Cruz, he came out with I believe it was a majority decision victory. We'll talk about that in later on in this segment, so I'm not going to touch that yet. But anyway, I'll let everybody start off with their breakdown of the fight. I'll start off with Bo, man. What'd you take away from this fight, man? Were you okay with the score? Or, you know, any discrepancies and anything? What did you see in this fight?
I saw the Leo Santa Cruz that fought Abner Mares show up. That's what I saw. I saw the Leo Santa Cruz that realized he was a taller, bigger man and let his jab go. Leo Santa Cruz in this fight was even winning in exchanges. He was winning in exchanges. The reason why that jab was so important, and people got to understand this, they don't necessarily have to touch Frampton, but it's enough to keep him off rhythm. It's enough to disturb his rhythm. Like, he would throw that jab, and even if the jab wasn't a hard jab, it was enough just to throw Frampton off rhythm so Frampton wouldn't come with another punch. If he threw his one and didn't catch, he wouldn't come with another punch because he didn't know where Leo Santa Cruz was. So I saw Leo Santa Cruz that was very disciplined because you can tell he wanted to go into that brawl. He wanted to just go at him and get at him, but he listened to a corner. He listened to his father. I also saw a corner in Leo Santa Cruz corner that was just all over him and in his ear versus the corner over in Carl Frampton's corner. Carl Frampton's corner seemed a little befuddled. Like, you know, this wasn't something that they expected it to be a different type of a fight. So, I mean, it turned out that, listen, Leo, I picked Frampton to win because I didn't like what I saw Leo Santa Cruz in the first fight. And the thing about it was he didn't make no adjustments that fight. Now here it is, Frampton didn't make no adjustments in this fight. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just one of those fights where I think these two guys are going to be probably attached to the hip for each other, probably for the rest of the goddamn year. And that's just how I see it going. But it was a good fight, man. I didn't expect Leo Santa Cruz to fight that way. I'm glad he did fight that way. I really don't know what all much you can say. I mean, it was just one of those fights where the guy who had the advantages actually used his advantages in this fight instead of in like that he didn't do in the first fight. But I do want to say this about Carl Frampton, and that is, he looked at. I wonder what was his rehydration weight? Because Twan, you mentioned this earlier.
138.
138.
Okay.
138.
Okay, that explains because he looked at lethargic in that ring in that fight to me. He looked at very lethargic, and I'm like he doesn't look like the same Frampton from the first fight. So that explains it. He rehydrated fucking 12 pounds up. That probably had a lot to do with why his movement and his fluidity just wasn't there. But props to Leo Santa Cruz. I know we argue back and forth about having a third fight, and I know everybody feels differently, but props to Leo Santa Cruz, man, for winning that fight. I'm glad I was wrong about who was going to win that fight. But, yeah, Carl Frampton, and 2K, you said this a long time ago about Carl Frampton, you know, and you say this about a lot of fighters. You said, man, they only got one thing about them. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. We're seeing two guys that kind of got one thing about them. One guy was able to neutralize the first guys in the first fight. Now he was able to neutralize this guys in the second fight.
Yeah.
All right. Bernard, man, I'm going to go ahead and swing it to you. Were you surprised at pretty much the game plan that Santa Cruz came out with? Because I know I had picked Santa Cruz to win, but I didn't see it in the fashion that he did it, you know, being, outboxing Frampton. That's not something I saw happening personally. You know, but when I get it wrong big time, just like Crawford and Postal. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though I got the pick right, it definitely wasn't the fight stylistically that I was expecting. What were your thoughts on that, Bernard?
I don't want to say Santa Cruz made the adjustments. Let's pick up on what Carl Frampton ended up doing. He started brawling. It ended up being the total opposite. Me and 2K was chatting through the in a little chat, and we was going back. Carl Frampton would come in with a jab, land his combinations, pop right back out. In fact, he was using head movement and everything in the first half of the fight. After that, in the second half of the fight, he decided he wanted to become a brawler. It was at that point that Santa Cruz took advantage of that and boxed him, and pretty much won the fight. What I believe 2K said around the 8th or the 9th round, you could tell Frampton was gassed out.
Yep.
You could say
round 8.
Round 8 contribute to the 12 pounds he put on, or the 14 pounds he put on of rehydration weight, or you could sit there and say he started doing something that he had no business. Started doing it. He stepped away from his game plan. You could tell his trainer was in there telling him, box him, utilize the jab. He even got away from utilizing the jab. He started going there and there like he tried to go on the inside of Santa Cruz, covering up, not going in there using his jab. And he just tried to go in there and try to muscle him and put his body on him. It wasn't working. It backfired on him in the end.
All right. Anything you want to add on there, Bernard, or? Because I was going to swing it to 2K next.
No, swing it. I mean, pretty much, okay. I believe 2K could piggyback from some of the stuff he said. I didn't want to, what's the word? Go into it too much, so I just want to leave.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, 2K. What were the differences in this fight, you know, game plan, strategy-wise, man? Because one thing we know with the jab, that was something that was pretty much the different from Santa Cruz. But what else in this fight that, you know, that stood out to you?
The strategy game plan for Carl Frampton was exactly the same. The only difference is that he ballooned up. You know, he came in as a junior welterweight for this fight. But Leo Santa Cruz did what the fuck I predicted him to do before the first fight. You know what I'm saying? When I picked Leo Santa Cruz to win the first fight, I said, he's going to outbox him. You know what I'm saying? He's going to stay on the outside. He's going to use his reach. He's going to use his jab. He's going to use volume. He's going to box him. So that's why I had Leo beating him the first fucking time, but he didn't do that. Instead, he said what he said he was going to do before this fight, he did in the first fight. He said, I can box, if y'all remember his quote. He said, I can box. I can use my jab. I can use the ring, but I want to give the fans what they want to see, so I'm going to brawl. That's what the fuck he did in the first fight. So I'm yelling at the TV like, are you stupid or something? Why are you doing that? Okay? Carl Frampton in this fight, I'm going to go – I agree with 99.9% of what Bo said. The only 0.1% I disagree with is that he said Carl Frampton didn't make adjustments. He did make adjustments. The problem is that he was tired, so he was ineffective in his adjustments. I seen him boxing him in the first half of the fight.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
He made it a bully fight as well. You know, he tried to use his weight against Santa Cruz as well. That was I actually mentioned that on Bo's show earlier. So yeah, he did. I saw adjustments as well. But go ahead, TJ.
Right, did an excellent job in the first half of the fight. He was boxing him. And then even when he was actually winning rounds, he would, like you said, adjust and start bullying him. He did both things. In the second half of the fight, he got too fucking tired. So it turned from jabbing your way in, landing combinations, and popping back out, as Bernard mentioned earlier, to not jabbing and waiting, standing there, moving around. He did this little hop step when he was trying to get inside because he was fucking tired. He was trying to give himself more adrenaline or more pick me up.
Pick your momentum. Your momentum.
Yeah, exactly. So he could get more on the inside. He kept doing that shit, but he would get there, he wouldn't throw anything. And then a lot of times, I think it was round 10, he did more holding than I've ever seen him hold in any of his fights. So this motherfucker was extremely tired. And it's a testament to the fact that this motherfucker put 12 pounds on. When they announced his weight, what he rehydrated to, immediately I was like, why the fuck did he come in the fight so goddamn big? You don't have to do that against Lil Santa Cruz. What was the point of that? You could have did what you did the first time and did what you did actually in the first half of the fight, and you take 12 pounds off of that, you win the goddamn rematch. Like, to me, the IQ thing in that scenario, coming in with that kind of strategy, it's either two things: his trainer or Frampton. But I'm still going to give a little blame to Frampton because he is the fighter. He doesn't have to do that if he doesn't want to. That was the stupidest shit they could have done. That's why they lost.
Yeah. One of the things.
Let me ask this. Let me ask 2K this. Do you think he came in that heavy thinking he could knock Leo Santa Cruz out?
Man, I don't know what the fuck he thought because Leo Santa Cruz.
I was actually about to touch on that, but go ahead, TJ.
While he was hurt in the first fight, he wasn't hurt to the point where it looked like he was going to get knocked out. I mean, he recovered well each time. He may have been buzzed. So that would have been a stupid ass strategy even there because he showed that he has the chin, at least in this fight, to take punches from Carl Frampton. So why even think that you can knock him out? All you got to do is do exactly what you did to win. Like, you don't see guys who win. You got two fights, right? And you got a guy who won the first fight. You don't see them making an adjustment to their physical appearance or their body for the rematch if they won the first fight. You don't see that. You don't see them making changes to their strategy. They're going to do the same fucking thing that they did in the first fight because that's what drove them to success in the first place. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Bruh, if I could get a hold of his trainer and his team, well, I'd tell them in a heartbeat, like, bro, that was the dumbest shit you ever did. And if we interviewed him, he get mad and hang up during the interview, it is what it is. But that's exactly what I tell him.
Watching the post-fight press conference yesterday, one of the things his camp actually mentioned was they expected Leo to go Leo, fucking 12 rounds, 1,200 punches, high output in your grill, in your face. So I think that has a lot to do with what, Carl Frampton's weight pickup, because you notice he tried to be the bully, in certain rounds. And it was effective for him, actually, in this fight, when he did that, because I think Leo outboxed him from the outside, period. It wasn't even a matchup there. Leo outboxed his ass in this fight.
This is why I don't see that. I mean, I see what you're saying, and I agree. I just don't see why you would need to think you need to gain 12 pounds because you successfully bullied them without the 12 pounds in the first fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I said I was wondering if they was going for the knockout because there was one other thing that Leo was really doing good. He was out-countering Frampton at trying to counter. Like, he was being first. You know how we say in boxing, be first? Leo was being first as to where last time Frampton was. But that's why I really think that they think they could come in here and knock him out if Leo comes at him like that. And if that's the case, I agree with 2K. That's if they thought he was going to come out like that, that tells me going into training camp, you guys did not prepare for a different kind of a fight. Like, you guys really thought that he's going to fight the same way. So somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
Yeah. It definitely had a huge implication on the division. We're going to talk on that now. Post-fight interview. We're hearing talks of a trilogy. You know, everybody's bringing up fighting in Belfast and shit like that. On the other hand, we have Lee Selby's fight canceled. And, you know, a lot of this was the setup a possible fight for them in the UK, you know, a unification bout. Of course, that's not going to happen now. Lee Selby didn't fight on the undercard, which was supposed to be the setup bout. His fight got canceled, and, you know, Frampton, of course, lost. So, with that being said, let me see what y'all takes on the 126 division now. What's going to happen post-fight? Do you want to see a trilogy fight between these two immediately?
No.
Let me kick it up. Yeah, TK, go ahead, man. Yeah, speak your mind, man. Go ahead, dog.
You know, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and as usual, I really don't give a fuck. I don't want to see...
We know you don't give a fuck. I know this. Right.
I don't want to see no trilogy, man, because, you know, be honest with you, I wasn't, me personally, and a lot of the people in my circle, we weren't calling for this fucking fight to begin with, okay? And nobody really wanted to see Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz. The only reason why it became intriguing is because during the actual fight, it was a good fight, you know what I'm saying? But prior to the fight, people were like, well, you know, that seems like a good matchup. You know, Leo's at 126, he's undefeated. Carl Frampton's moving from 122 to 126. You know, that seems like a good fight. Although he's supposed to be fighting Guillermo Rigondeaux, because he said that once he beats Scott Quigg, that he would give Guillermo Rigondeaux his shot. So that was actually looming on the fight. Like, hey, you know, Leo's a good matchup, but why the fuck are you not fighting Rigo? So we saw the first fight, okay? Then we saw the second fight. Both of them are good fights. But to be honest with y'all, man, watching this second fight, my excitement was not peaked. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, my God, oh, shit. No, I was watching a fight quiet as fuck. Like, you know, here and there, I'd be like, why is Carl Frampton just, you know, waiting towards the end of the fight? I'm like, why is he waiting? Why is this nigga not doing the same shit he was doing the first 7 or 8 rounds? Why is he fucking waiting? You know, that's the only thing I was doing. I wasn't excited while watching this fight. So, in my opinion, man, I'm usually big on, you know, whenever matchups are tied 1-1, I do want to see a trilogy. But in this case, dog, I can live with not seeing it. I want to see other guys in the mix with these two guys like Gary Russell. I want to see Abner Mares in the mix. I want to see a guy that a lot of people aren't talking about, Simpwe Vetyeka. He's a nice-ass dude from South Africa, man, really good. I want to see him in the mix. Oscar Valdez, definitely Jojo Diaz. I want to see all them niggas in the mix. Lee Selby. You know, I want to see maybe Carl Frampton, you know, versus Lee Selby next because he lost. I want to see that. For Leo Santa Cruz, I want to see him fight Gary Russell Jr. next. You know, let's unify some titles.
Yeah, they had that WBC diamond belt. They threw that WBC diamond belt in there. Exactly. That shit over Gary Russell Jr., man. That's what I was calling for immediately after the fight. You know, I noticed that shit.
Exactly. So I'm not trying to see no damn trilogy, man. It's just the excitement for me is not there.
Bo, Bernard, you guys want to chime in on the trilogy? And what should be next?
Yeah,
you know I do. You know I do.
I'm tagging Bo in.
Go ahead, listen. This is what I said. Now, I agree with 2K on one point, and I said this earlier on the show. I said, I don't mind the trilogy. I really don't mind the trilogy. Do we need to see it right away? No. I don't mind the trilogy for this fact right here. The money aspect of it, especially if he fights in Belfast, will be probably bigger than anything either one of these guys got. But before they have the trilogy, I said exactly what 2K said. Have Frampton fight Selby, then have Leo Santa Cruz fight Gary Russell. Then you can do a trilogy because that will be an even bigger fight. Because if both of them get their victories, now you're talking title unification matches. That's money. That's big money right there. So that aspect of it, I don't mind the trilogy. But the thing is, though, and this is why I said, listen, these guys are going to be linked together forever. The thing is, right now, they're really the talk of 126 pounds. And regardless of whether you like it or not, and I totally agree with you. I'm not going to argue with you about that. And you know I'm not going to argue with you about that. But the fact of the matter is, right now, they're the talk of 126-pound division. So, although I don't think a trilogy should happen right now, I agree with 2K, I agree with Twan and a couple of people about it. But a trilogy will eventually have to happen, especially if Frampton beats Selby and then Santa Cruz beats Gerald Russell. Now you're talking unification. Now you're talking, possible 3 belts being on the line at one time? That can be big money. That's where I come from with it being a trilogy. And that aspect, that's the only way I'll accept the trilogy from that aspect, okay, because that's big money and that's title unification. But outside of that, I'm not mad at people that don't want to see a trilogy because we say this all the time. Did we really have to see Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley 3? Or do we really have to, like some of the trilogies we saw? I mean, you got people that don't even like watching a second fight sometimes, especially if they feel like the first fight wasn't really that close or a wash or whatever it is. A lot of times what happens is because boxing is trying to find its excitement, because boxing is trying to find probably its path, a lot of times what you get is you get people that see something, and when there's a split, they always want to scream for the rubber match. Well, we need to see a rubber match. We need to see a rubber match. And that happens a lot of time in boxing. But like I said, the only way I care for a trilogy is if the scenario that I talked about, Frampton beating Selby, Cruz beating Russell, unification match, that's the only way I'll take a trilogy.
All right, I'm going to chime in real quick, and then I'm going to ask y'all one question. I want a quick yes or no on the one before we go to the next topic. I guess the thing about this fight and the reason why there was a rematch, and I actually put it in my article last night, there was a little bit of controversy, something looming in the air about the first fight, that didn't sit well with people. It was a controversial decision to a lot of people. Last night's fight definitely was not controversial at all. Well, there was controversy, but it wasn't no disputing who won. Like, who the fuck won this one. Frampton was even, after the fight, the first fight, he was like, I didn't lose. Frampton knew he fucking lost this fight. That was the biggest difference, and that's why I don't think we need to see a trilogy. With that said, man, quick yes or no answer from you guys.
Hold on, man. Wait a minute. Before you get to the yes or no, let me say something, man. I'm sick and I'm tired of motherfuckers coming up with these unmade controversial scenarios after fucking fight decisions. Sometimes I just want to know what the fuck are motherfuckers watching? Like, seriously, like what is motherfuckers watching? I'm so tired of after every fight there's this fucking unmade up fucking. It's like there's this written rule that let's make a controversy to get people to talk about shit. Like what the fuck is we hearing here, man?
I guess I'm gonna talk about it in terms of just this fight here. First fight, I actually had it a draw or Leo winning. And, people was like, you wilding the fuck out, dog. And I was like, nah, man, you guys are putting, I'm going to tell you why. I look at fights. I look at fights differently, man, because, one of the key arguments was Carl landed the crisper shots, the flusher shots and, more powerful shots. And I'm like, Leo came from Frampton started at bantamweight. Leo started at Carl started at super bantamweight. Leo started at bantamweight. So obviously Carl was always the bigger guy. So he's supposed to land the fucking more crisp shot. Same thing with Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. Thurman was the fucking naturally more powerful guy. Of course he's supposed to land the more powerful shots. But this motherfucker was actually hitting Carl with shit. He's just not a big puncher. You know what I'm saying? So I take shit like that into account when I'm looking at fights. I don't know how judges are personally, but that's something I look at. If I know a guy has a natural size discrepancy or power, I'm not going to fucking give him more credit for landing the crisper shots. Like, that's just fucking stupid to me. I can't do that because he's naturally the stronger guy anyway. So why would I factor that in? So, that's just my take on as far as why there was controversy in the first one for me. And to me, this fight was more definitive as far as the winner in this one. But with that said, let's go to this quick yes or no answer. does Lee Selby fight call Frampton, or has the loss taken away from some of the luster of that fight happening? Yes or no, TK?
No.
Yes or no, Bo?
No.
Okay, Bo?
Hell motherfucking no.
And Bernard?
Set that shit up in the UK ASAP.
Okay, so Bernard's the lone wolf on this one. I don't think Selby's going to take the fight now either with Carl losing. You know, it fucked up his money. He fucked up the monies. Let's go into our next card on HBO. We're going to cover the main event, which was Francisco Vargas versus Miguel Berchelt for what I believe, what was it, the WBC belt? WBC Super Featherweight belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Man,
Yes, baby.
yeah. Knockout victory for Miguel Berchelt. He was actually in line to face Lomachenko as well. He was Loma's mandatory with the WBO. It opted for this fight with Vargas. Let me go ahead and start off with Bo and Bernard. I know TK didn't get a chance to watch this one. Me neither, honestly. I've only seen highlights of it, so I'll go ahead and let Bo and Bernard take this one, man. Bo, give us your thoughts on this one.
Well, while I sit here with my feet up smoking my cigar, this fight right here, I said something on the podcast I did, Pound for Pound. I said, when you look at Berchelt's resume, it's not impressive, but what I found noticeably that jumped out at me, he had an 87% knockout ratio. So that tells me, even though we can question his level of competition, the fact remains, and I say this all the time, he was getting motherfuckers out of there that shouldn't have been in the ring with him. See? And that was the big difference for me. Like, the one thing a fighter has, regardless of what level class fighter he fights, is power. That's the last thing that goes. And if you are hitting motherfuckers and knocking them out on a consistent basis, regardless of your level of competition, then that tells me you have true power or the ability to enforce your power on someone. Francisco Vargas, Oscar De La Hoya, this is where a guy like you're missing a guy like Richard Schaefer. Oscar De La Hoya needs to walk into a conference room, sit everybody down, tell everybody, if you can't justifiably explain to me why I put one of my fighters in 3 straight fucking wars, you the fuck out of here. And then everybody should look at Oscar and say, well, why don't you jump out the goddamn window first? Because there's no Francisco Vargas been in 3 fucking war fights. At no point in time did they try to find, after one of those wars, either give him a proper amount of rest or find a guy that wouldn't cause him to have to go through this much damage. They showed a picture on TV of his eye before the fight, how you can still see reminiscent of scar tissue cut over the eye. And I saw that, I'm thinking to myself, with a puncher like this, motherfucker, that's dangerous as fuck. That's dangerous as fuck. Are y'all seriously doing this? Are y'all seriously going to do this to this boy? When you fight guys like Orlando Salido, it takes life out of you. When you fight guys like Mura, who we saw, it takes life out of you. Age in fights like this. Now, I don't know, and we asked earlier, whether this is how just Francisco fights or whether this was bad management as far as setting up this fight. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. Like, first of all, Francisco Vargas should not fight for the rest of the year. That's it. He should be done. He took a hell of a beating. But this goes back to something I've always said. This is why Roman Gonzalez looked at that check, looked at his face and said, you motherfuckers got to pay me. Because if y'all want me to go through this kind of bullshit, and what happened? They wanted him to fight a big fight. They were like, no, we're going to give you a simple mandatory. Because Roman Gonzalez looked at his face and said, no, fuck this. Y'all either pay me or give me a light goddamn touch. This is bullshit. That's exactly what happened last night with Francisco Vargas. He got in there with a younger, bigger, stronger version of Orlando Salido that had a motor that just wouldn't quit. And everybody was looking at Berchelt's resume. They was looking at his level of competition. But I said he has an 87% knockout ratio. So that tells me he gets motherfuckers out that don't belong here regardless of level of competition. So he came into this fight, like I said, he was a bigger, stronger, younger version of Orlando Salido. He was just a bull looking to make his mark. I say it all the time. Sometimes a cherry pick don't know he's a cherry pick. This was a dude that was coming to make a mark, and he did. And I just feel like he caught a Francisco Vargas that finally got into one of these tough war type fights and couldn't dig deep enough to pull it out. Like, he had nothing on his punches. Like, he was actually hitting Berchelt with some very hard counter overhand rights because Berchelt was there all day for the right. This boy was not tucking his chin down. Berchelt only had one gear, forward. Francisco Vargas, when he was faced with that, normally he had the power to match power for power, but he had nothing in his fight. Why? Because once the gun started blazing, Francisco Vargas realized he's throwing firecrackers and this motherfucker's dropping item bombs. And that was the big difference in his fight. So, like Golden Boy, I understand that, and I'm not trying to shit on them, but this, in my opinion, this was just poor management. I understand you trying to make good fights, but why are you putting Francisco Vargas in all these wars and you got fucking Canelo Alvarez dropping belts to motherfuckers and not putting him in some shit like that? So, props to Berchelt, but, that fight, the way this boy took a beat, man, this could possibly have either ruined him as a fighter, but it definitely took some mileage off of him.
Bernard, anything you want to chime in on about this, about the fight that you noticed? I mean, like I said, Bo said it was a cherry pick. Anybody that knows Berchelt, it wasn't a cherry pick fight. Like I said, he was mandatory to the Lomachenko as well. So this motherfucker can fight. I'm saying that's just what it is, man.
No. I wouldn't say it was a cherry pick. I'm saying that people look at his resume and felt, this shouldn't be that hard of a fight because he hasn't faced the same level of competition as Francisco Vargas.
Okay. Bernard, chime in on what you think should happen in the aftermath of this fight, man. I mean, I know Bo said that he thinks, Vargas definitely needs to let some of that scar tissue heal.
I mean, I'm going to basically say this. I'm going to piggyback on what Bo said. The wars took life out of Vargas, as well as Miura. You could tell in this fight, there was nothing in him. I mean, in the first couple of rounds, okay, yeah, he was doing it, but as the fight continued, Berchelt was just kept landing nothing but a headshot. He was head hunting, and not saying that in a bad way, but he was trying to get him out of there. And you could tell. If I was Vargas right now, I'll get that scar tissue fixed immediately, and I wouldn't fight till probably the end of the year. With Berchelt, with him, I'll take on his if he got a mandatory. It's not a fight, a volunteer fight. Whoever he could fight. I believe Miura won his fight, right?
Yep.
Miura won his fight against Roman. I can see that fight. Of course, Golden Boy probably gonna make sure that fight happens. So I can see that fight happening. And I can see Berchelt winning that one because
what fight was that, Bernard?
Miura versus Berchelt.
Okay.
And I'm saying, reason why I'm saying I got Berchelt in that fight by what I saw in his fight against Roman. I know we're not. I'm gonna go real brief on this fight. Miura had to pull it out of him after the 8th round. His trainer told him, "Get rid of this dude." I thought Miura was not gonna make it to the 12th from my base of how he was looking. He had to pretty much.
That's another guy that's been in too many damn wars, though.
Yeah. I was just going to say that, man.
That's what I want to say. That he had to literally every shot from the 9th on the 12th was. It's going to sound casual as hell. It was a hard shot. I mean, he was hitting Roman with intent. When he hit him with that body shot in the 10th, he knocked him down. When he hit him in the 11th, he knocked him down, and then he got rid of him in the 12th. Got rid of him in the 12th. What I'm basically saying is, I saw the same thing in Vargas, what I saw in Miura. They've been into too many wars. They're drained. Their body can't take it right now. It's taking life out of them. And basically, what I'm saying is, Berchelt is going to possibly win against Miura in a late round stoppage if the fight happens.
All right. Just to get TK in on this topic, because I know you didn't get to see the fight, and you don't want him to get that the light skin, feeling all left out.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's his catchphrase.
Hey man,
That's his catchphrase.
One thing I've learned from that light skinned motherfucker, he got a dark skinned nigga's temper.
Yeah, he definitely do.
Light skinned niggas with dark skinned tendencies.
Right.
Let me get your take on the 130-pound division in the aftermath of this fight, man. Berchelt just announced his presence on the scene, even though he was highly ranked in by two different organizations. We got the Loma and Jez Corrales unification happening. Man, what do you see playing out in this division? I guess over 2017. I'll let you get your thoughts out on that one.
It's good, man. Don't forget about Gervonta Davis, man, the new guy coming up. Yeah, dog. Shit, Orlando Salido is still a threat there. Of course, like you said, Vasil and Jezreel. You got fucking Tevin Farmer. You got Jason Sosa. Hell yeah, man, this division is sick. Berchelt, while based on what y'all are saying in that fight, and I've seen him fight beforehand, he's a good fighter. He's not great. I don't even want to say good, to be honest with you. He could take advantage of what you give him. That's the type of fighter he is. These guys at 130 are too much for him, man. The guys that are on top of their games, like Vasil Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis. I think the fight with Gervonta Davis would be actually pretty good, but I think Gervonta gets there. Tevin Farmer, Jason.
You hear that, Floyd? Make that one happen. I'd actually want to see that one too. Good call.
The thing with Gervonta Davis, he's got the firepower to make Berchelt think twice.
Exactly.
That didn't happen with Vargas. That didn't happen with Vargas. Vargas had nothing to make him think twice.
Exactly. And it's mainly a testament to what y'all said, man. Vargas is just like his third war in a row. So, I mean, you're talking about fucking Miura, Orlando Salido, and then now this guy. So, yeah, I mean, he could have been fatigued at this point in his career. But the guys that I'm looking at, with the exception of Vargas, they're too much for this guy. I disagree with Bernard, but I see his point. He could knock Miura out, but I don't see him beating Miura either. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a very good division. 130 is one of those sleeper divisions. Motherfuckers don't really know about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more asleep than. I think the cruisers are more asleep than 130, but people only know 130 because of Vasil Lomachenko. That's the only reason. You talk to a big time Vasil Lomachenko fan, ask him who else is in the division, he probably won't know. You know what I'm saying? So, other than that, you know, the division has a lot of guys in it that I think Berchelt will have trouble with, man. But we'll see, man. We'll see what they do with him.
All right. We're going to go into our next title fight review. It's actually coming from the minimum weights. So I'm going to piggyback off of 2K saying, real motherfuckers watch all 17. We cover all of that on this shit, you know, on our show. So y'all going to listen. Even if you don't know who the fuck they are, y'all going to listen anyway.
Go do some research.
We had Menayothin taking on Melvin Jerusalem defending his title. You know what? After watching the fight, you know, I can actually see where the close and everybody saying how close it was, because, you know, I had just talked to 2K earlier about this and saying, you know what, Menayothin fucking won hands down, and I'm watching the later rounds. I'm like, you know what? This motherfucking scorecard is closer than I motherfucking thought. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Menayothin retained his title in a very close fight against Melvin Jerusalem. Me and Bernard might be the only two that saw this one. I'm not sure if Bo got a chance to watch this or not. Did you get a chance to see it?
Oh, I got it. Hey, real motherfuckers sent me the link to that bitch, and I watched it.
Okay, cool.
I watched some of that fight. Hell yeah. I wanted to be the motherfucker that was going to be called out on that shit.
All right. Let me go ahead and start off with Bernard, because I know he had an interesting scorecard on this one as well. Let me get your take on this fight, man.
I scored the fight 115 to 112. The fight started off with Jerusalem dictating the pace in the first 2 rounds. Then Menayothin basically picked up the next 2 rounds. Actually, not the next 2 rounds. He pretty much went on to win from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those rounds he won. By the 8th round, Jerusalem got deducted a point for a low blow. After he got deducted with that point from the low blow, he picked up his pace in that fight and started trying to fight him on the inside. He started using his range and everything, the land shots and everything like that. So I gave him that round. I gave him the 9th round. Menayothin got the 10th round. Jerusalem got the 11th. 12th was the swing round. I swing it to Menayothin, but you can give it to Jerusalem though. It was that close of a fight. Even if Jerusalem would have won that round, the 12th round, it would have set the scorecard pretty much. I want to say 114, 113, I believe. And I was going to say, Menayothin, he was working from his range. Then he started fighting on the inside, and he started pretty much smothering Jerusalem's punches by pretty much. Yeah. And he was also putting his body on it, and actually locking his left arm up, and using his left arm to land a jab and hooks to the body and everything like that.
All right. Definitely, I could agree with your summary of the fight, man. I definitely had it going the same way as far as the tides turning at those specific junctures in the fight. Man, for 11 fights, this motherfucker Jerusalem was game as hell, man. One of the things I didn't like early on is his body language. Like once Menayothin started trying to rough him up and go on the inside, Jerusalem was folding, falling, and all kind of stuff, and it just didn't come off well. But, as I'm watching the fight and adding these rounds together, I'm like, Jerusalem is still putting some shit in the bank. And, I actually had it 6 rounds with the fight, the difference being a damn low blow. That's pretty much what sealed the deal for Menayothin was that low blow to take the point deduction away from Jerusalem. When I finished the fight, I was surprised at my damn scorecard because I had just told 2K, hands down, Menayothin won this fight. Wasn't no controversy. I get to watch the championship rounds. Even after the low blow, this motherfucker Jerusalem is in it, he taking rounds. So, definitely a surprising fight, man. Bo, let me get your take on this one, man.
Yeah, it was a very surprising fight. I think one of the aspects of it, and I was coming in, I think somebody was saying that was the type of fight this turned into. This actually, the reason why the fight was closer for Jerusalem, it kind of turned to his kind of fight, which is like, he was game. Like both of these dudes looked like they was game for a slugfest. And it just really got to a point, like you said, with the low blow. There was good, Menayothin, I give him credit for this. He was countering very good. He was throwing that hook just below the elbow to the body. But at the same time, he was also getting caught with counter right hands. He was also, there was a few times he was out of position, then there was a few times Jerusalem was out of position. So this was a back and forth, ebb and flow type fight that while scoring the fight, even watching the fight, I actually watched this fight, then I had to score it later because it was one of them fights where there were rounds where you could give it to one or the other guy. It just depends on what you're looking for and how you judge a fight. Okay? So, it was a very good fight. It was closer. Like, if you're somebody who first watch it, then you think, okay, Menayothin has this. But when you really sit back and watch it, you're like, wait a minute. Because there were some things Jerusalem was doing that you're like, okay, I can see how he possibly is, is winning this or possibly, doing good. But the type of fight it turned into, and I don't know who said it when we came on, it was the type of fight that, that kind of benefited Jerusalem in one way. Like you said, he was game. So because he was game, he had to turn it into a particular fight that for a guy to having that many fights that would fit his ability to make an impact in the fight so you would know that, hey, it's not a runaway. So exactly. I liked it to fight. Listen, like this is why we say, like these kind of fights when we talk about them, these guys might not draw blood, but they should be action fucking packed. And the crowd was going crazy with every goddamn punch. Like, I don't know what they be saying and shit, the commentators. But that shit would keep you glued to the TV set, Jack. How they be, I'd be like, damn, what's going on?
Man, I swear it was the same motherfucker every time.
Yeah.
It was the same dude. I could point him out in the crowd. The same exact one every time.
It was a very good fight. The only thing that I will say that kind of got me was I wasn't so sure the referee should have took a point away that fast.
Yeah,
like, maybe I missed the warning.
I didn't see any warning. Yeah.
And he took a point away that fast, and that changed the complex of the fight for Jerusalem when that happened to him.
But he did pick up the pace, and I actually had him coming through and winning some rounds in the championship rounds, which I said, it ended up being 6-6, and the difference being the low blow on my scorecard. But, I agree with Bo, man. I didn't see any fucking warnings at all. And you could have just as easily took away a point from Menayothin from some of the rough-out shit he was doing in there. So, that's definitely something to keep in the back of the minds. Man, Jerusalem is still very raw to be, 11 fights in. So there's some things technically he can improve, shortening his punches and shit like that nature to where I like he could have been touching Menayothin even more if he had things like that more refined in his skill set. That said, I'm going to get 2K's take on a certain aspect as far as Menayothin versus CP knockout and why this shit will not happen. Like, there's money to be made there, and at the end of the day, the titles will still stay with the same promoter. So I'm like, why the fuck is this shit not going to be made regardless? Can you give us some insight on that, 2K?
Yeah, man. For me, it's pretty simple. Just doing a lot of research on the background of the promoter that handles both Menayothin and CP Freshmart. Basically, that promoter has the kind of clout at the lower weight divisions, and we're talking 105 to flyweight, as Andre Ryabinski has over in Russia when he's getting purse bids. Anybody goes to a purse bid with Ryabinski is automatic. Well, shit, damn, I lost. Nigga, might as well go and have a fight in Russia because I already know.
Get my money.
Get my money. Yep. Exactly. So, and that's kind of the same thing that I can't pronounce his name, man. His first name, it's that Thailand shit, dog. His first name is like 12 letters, and his last name is like 47 letters, nigga. So I'm going to go ahead.
With no vowels in it, right? With no vowels.
Exactly. Exactly, yo. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to do that shit, fam. So I'm going to refer to the promotional company, which is Diamond Boxing Promotions. But yeah, they have that kind of clout there with that company. So, and they actually, they're promoting CP and Wanheng Menayothin. So, and these guys are the number 1 and number 2 fighters at 105 respectively. So with that kind of stranglehold over the division, they are actually making the most money out of keeping those guys away from each other because nobody can actually beat these guys that are sitting at 1 and 2. They have the second and best, fighters in the division. Nobody can beat them. They're going to the point, dog. They're going to the point where they will put Freshmart and Menayothin in the ring with a nigga with like 6 wins and 12 losses, and it'll be in between.
Me and Malachi was actually chopping it up about this a couple days ago. Yeah, exactly.
And it'll be a fight. It won't be a title fight. It'll just be a a quick little stay busy fight in between title fights. But they do shit like that, and of course, all the fights are held in Thailand. They don't leave Thailand. Everybody's got to come to them. And it's getting to the point where if, a lot of these fights go to decision, if these challengers don't beat the dust off of these motherfuckers or knock them down or, knock them out, it's almost a guarantee they're going to lose a decision to these guys in Thailand. So when you've got that much clout, and in Thailand, they pretty much populate the lower divisions. You don't really see Thai fighters at fucking welterweight, at heavyweight and shit. They populate the smaller divisions. So Thai boxing is all about small boxing, okay? Small man boxing. When you've got that kind of clout in 2 of those divisions, okay, why would you fuck that up by putting your 2 best guys against each other? I understand the business aspect. but I hate it as a fan. I want to see them two motherfuckers fight.
I want to get your take on this aspect. This is something I actually was asking Malachi the other day, man. Why aren't the organizations more impact? Why don't they have more impact in the lower weight divisions? You know, like we're looking at CP Knockout's not even ranked in the fucking WBC at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know, and you got Byron Rojas who just lost to fucking CP Knockout, fucking ranked fucking number 3 or 4 by them. You know, like what the fuck is up with the sanctioning bodies when it comes to the lower weight classes? Because I'm like, even they should have been able to get some shit enforced, or to where he's in position to be fucking mandatory for that title. You know,
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna contradict that a little bit because we saw that at heavyweight. Anthony Joshua was the IBF champion, and when they were talking about fighting Vladimir Klitschko, he wasn't ranked by the WBA. And that's exactly why they couldn't make that fight right then and there for the WBA super title, because he wasn't even ranked in the WBA ranking. So therefore they made him fight Eric Molina. That pushed him up into the ranking. So it's not necessarily – organizational fuckery isn't just, at the smaller weights. This shit's all over the place. But to answer that question, again, that guy has that kind of clout at the lower weights. He could have told the WBA, hey, yo, don't rank this fighter in the WBC because I don't plan on putting them motherfuckers together. Anyway, honestly, if you rank CP Freshmart in WBC and he's still winning his fights, you have no choice but to keep moving him up and making him the mandatory for Wanheng Menayothin. If Diamond Boxing Promotions doesn't have any intention on putting those two fighters together, well, it's easy for them to go ahead and slide the WBA some fucking money on some great white hype type shit that Samuel L. Jackson was doing to Cheech Marine, right? Slide them some money and say, yo, don't rank my fighter, you know what I'm saying? I don't plan on putting these niggas together, so go ahead and take them out of the WBC or the WBA or the WBC, excuse me, and the WBC will actually do that. So, I mean, that's an easy workaround there, but I'm getting to the point, man, where I see the control that Diamond Boxing Promotions has. I want to see those two fight, but I'm not sure if the fight would even be legit. I'm almost thinking that if they did get in the ring, Diamond Boxing Promotions would do something like fix the fucking fight in favor of maybe, Menayothin or something. I don't know, man.
To make a rematch or something like that, and capitalize off of it. Yeah.
And Menayothin's coming up on 50-0, man. He's 47-0 right now. I'm not sure how much they value that down there at that division. But maybe that's something that they're making sure that he gets. I mean, if he keeps fighting the type of guys that he's fighting, you know what I'm saying?
You good over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. But yeah, so definitely good insight on that there, TK. Glad for you to chime in and break down as far as the politics and everything, how everything works out over there in Thailand, and how everything seems to work in between the damn sanctioning bodies and their influence over these the fight that everybody thinks should happen. With that said, I know you didn't get to see the fight with Jerusalem's impressive showing against Menayothin. Do you think it's time? Do you think CP Knockout could actually take Menayothin right now? I'm pretty sure you want to wait till you see the fight to actually even chime in on that, but just going based off of what we said, man.
I think
breakdown for the fight. What do you think?
That's a good question. Well, I've actually seen Melvin Jerusalem fight. I've seen some highlights of him or whatever. That's a good question, man. I think Menayothin's smarter than CP Freshmart. There's some things that CP does. He gets a little wild at times. Him being wild would get him beat. But it would be a goddamn huge fight, like fireworks, nigga, because both of these guys, they overimpose themselves on their opponents. So you got two motherfucking, atoms going against, basically two atoms going against each other and banging against each other. That's what you would see, and you'd see an explosion in that fight. It'd be an excellent fight.
All right. I'm actually gonna have to make that plans to go to Thailand to watch some fights, man, because they got the whole cheap living and shit out there. So I actually want to put that on my bucket list and go see a fight out there, man. Now, that's it. We're gonna go on into our next topic, and it's gonna get controversial on the show. We finna go in. I'm saying you might not like what we gonna say. I mean, but we gonna bring some shit to the light and just expose everything for what it is, man. This week we had the Golden Boy lawsuit being tossed out of court, man.
Oh shit!
And you know what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Now, you know what's funny is I paid attention to it. I used to be on top of this case at first, and you know what? At first I thought Golden Boy kind of had an argument. Bo will be able to shed some light on it, though, as opposed, about what the actual lawsuit was really about, though. But, I know firsthand that, PBC Heyman was involved in actually sabotaging Golden Boy cards. So, I was like, maybe Golden Boy had something there with this lawsuit. They may have a chance at winning because this facts. This isn't me lying. Heyman was actually renting or booking venue dates and with no intentions of having stuff there just to keep Golden Boy from having events. For example, the Lucas Matisse Wrestling Provodnikov fight was supposed to be in L.A. at StubHub, and it ended up being in butt crack fucking New York. You know what I'm saying? In the middle, of nowhere. So, and Heyman snatched up a date with no intentions of using it. So I thought they actually had something there to their lawsuit as opposed to Top Ranks, which was actually settled out of court. But Bo, I know you're gonna be able to shed some more light on this about what the lawsuit actually was about. So go ahead and go in, brother.
That part, what you're talking about. Now, here's something I want everybody to understand. That what you're talking about, what Al Heyman was doing, that is a quote-unquote unwritten business practice that they do. That's right, and I equate this to this. When you go to the dealership to buy a car, you're not sure if you're gonna get that car or not, right? So what do you tell them? You say, listen, I don't know which car I like, so I'm gonna put money down on this car or put money down on that car, hold it for me. You do that to prevent what? From somebody buying the car until you decide which one you want. That's the same thing that fucking happened here. That's a business practice. And Oscar know that that's a business practice. That's why he was able to tell the Attorney General what to look for. I generally tell people, you don't tell a motherfucker to look for something if you don't know nothing about it. You've had to have actually done that shit to tell a motherfucker, wait a minute, this is what he's doing. Look at that. He's doing it. Why? How you know he's doing it? Well, because that's what I
do the top right.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Hold on, let me get my lawyer on the line right now. Hold on. Are y'all recording this? No. Okay. But that situation, he just told them what to look for. He told the Attorney General what to look for. But here is the biggest problem that Golden Boy had with their lawsuit. The biggest portion of their lawsuit, outside of the antitrust, listen, they went after the antitrust, and I knew they wouldn't win that because that was the same thing that happened in the UFC. Normally, antitrust lawsuits, a lot of, I think because this was filed in not federal court, it was filed in civil court, I believe. So a lot of antitrust lawsuits, they don't like handling at that level. They like that being at the higher level. So a lot of those anti-type lawsuits like that, they don't want to deal with shit like that because now you're talking about the big girls, you're talking about big lawyers, you're talking about a lot of time being wasted.
This is actually a federal case. It was actually a federal case. A federal judge dismissed it.
Right. So they don't like dealing with shit like that because, I don't really want to. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna say it. We on the show. When you start dealing with shit like that, you start exposing a lot of dirt that goes on in these businesses with backdoor deals, making these type of trust things. I say this all the time. You cannot grow grass without planting dirt, and you ain't going to get nothing out of dirt until you put fertilizer up in there with this shit, which means everybody got their hands dirty. So if we're not going to start airing out dirty shit, they don't ever want to do that because their names start dropping, and you're like, damn, that motherfucker was involved in that? So they don't want to do that. But when they was trying to say that Al Heyman was a promoter, And I kept telling people, I don't give a fuck what Al Heyman may tell a promoter. I don't give a fuck if Al Heyman is sitting there with the promoter telling the promoter what to do. The fact of the matter remains was, in a court of law, it's about facts. It's about documents. It's about proof. It's not about how the fuck you feel and your fucking opinion. It's about facts. And there was nothing that was ever documented that Al Heyman applied for a promoter's license in Nevada, New York, California, no fucking place. There was nothing that ever proved that. And Oscar knows that. Why? Because when Heyman was working with Oscar, Heyman was the manager of all of Oscar's fighters. I broke something down last time when I said they tried to buy Golden Boy for $100 million back in 2013. They said no. They paid $10 million for Richard Schaefer legal shit. Got Richard Schaefer over there. Schaefer gave them 19 motherfucking fighters, and they saved $90 million. Well, that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not a how they tried to say a bamboozle. That's a fucking hookup. That's what the fuck that was. He had a 90% discount, and he took advantage of that. Took these fighters and did his fucking thing. But the bottom line was, even in the information we saw that came out about the emails and the PBC things, it says ESPN, NBC, Fox, all of them was okay with putting on PBC fights as long as it was being put on by a duly licensed promoter, which means that Lou Duval, who we saw doing them, some of the other promoters that we saw doing them. Hell, I even go back to telling people when Floyd Mayweather left Top Rank, who promoted all Floyd Mayweather's fight? Oscar. Why? Because Oscar had a promoter. Yep, he had a promoter's license. Floyd didn't have a promoter's license. That's why Floyd got that $81 million check from fucking Oscar. Remember that whole 50 Cent and Floyd shit? He got that $81 million check from fucking Golden Boy. So that part was never going to go. The biggest mistake that Golden Boy made was, unlike Top Rank, they didn't say, listen, let's do a settlement. Like, Bob Arum's been in the game long enough. He knows what's going to fly and what's not going to fly. That's why when he filed, he took a settlement like, all right, fine. You know, I mean, once that antitrust shit got dropped, he said, okay, fine, fuck it. Give me a settlement. Okay, cool. Golden Boy didn't take the settlement. Now all of the information about their dealings, their money, the spending, and all of that became public. Now everybody clearly knows your only person you're leaning heavily on is Canelo Alvarez. So now everybody knows this. Now, and then it goes back to when he had the exclusiveness removed from ESPN and NBC, and I think that's really what they wanted, because there was a tone change after the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight when HBO only got $9 million out of a $500 million fight. There was a tone change up for management. They got rid of every motherfucking body. That shit was swift. That shit was clean. That shit was surgical. They got everybody the fuck out that goddamn door fast.
Hell yeah.
And the tone changed. And if the tone changed for the network that you are solely looking at to promote your fighters, then what do? You have them go somewhere. Where can we go? Well, there's nowhere we can go, because the entities that have the most people that's going to watch our product is locked up with PBC. So once he removed the exclusiveness from it, back in May of last year is when Golden Boy started negotiating with fucking ESPN. That was right after that settlement with Top Rank took place. So they knew that, hey, listen, we got to make a move, because whether we want to admit this or not, and we're not going to, but Al Heyman is onto something, because the networks, which is the one we're with, don't really invest in boxing like that. Me and Twine talked about this. The structure for the financial structure of how you go about fights in Showtime was different than HBO. HBO for years was always dependent up on pay-per-view. Just remember when they had Don King, TVKO, and all the Bob Arabs and all that. It was structured more around pay-per-view. Now, pay-per-view numbers ain't doing what they used to do. You don't have mega fights and mega fighters no more. So now they're changing the structure of it as to where Showtime, their structure has always been the fucking same, like Showbox and all. Their structure has always been the same. So you want ESPN, and remember, I actually hope I succeed with ESPN, but I remember when he had that shit, and shout out to 2K's partner, Seth the Finesse. He remembers, like I remember when they had that LA Fight Night shit on Fox, and that shit, wow. I'm not even going to go into that. When Oscar had that Friday night LA Fight Night shit. Okay,
yeah, the Fight Club, yeah.
Right, LA Fight Club, and we all remember what that product was like. So it gets to ESPN, but this goes to show you that, and I say this all the time, I don't know what possessed people to listen to somebody who already has an agenda, like we found out in the Golden Boy emails. And I'm not even going to touch on the relationship. I'm going to touch on that on the day. I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to leave that to 2K. But what it goes to show is you can't listen to motherfuckers talk. You guys got to dig deep and do research. This was about one thing and one thing only. Top Rank and Golden Boy knew our fucking time is limited over here at fucking HBO. I remember Bob Arum said that how disgusting he was with having to argue with motherfuckers to get fights. They knew the time was limited. They had to make a move, and this was the move they made. But the bad thing about it was, unlike Top Rank took a settlement. Golden Boy actually tried to go all the way in hopes, well, out of a $300 million case, maybe we'll get something. Now they got nothing. So
tell the people essentially what the court was, or what the case was dismissed for, and why it was thrown out.
Not enough proof. They had no.
It was essentially over the Heyman Act, over the Ali Act.
The Ali Act. But it was not only was it not enough proof, but to a certain degree, the judge also felt that some of the evidence presented by Golden Boy actually incriminated themselves more than it did trying to prove Al Heyman's wrongdoing. But there was not enough proof to even go forward.
All right, so thanks for breaking that down for us, bro. We actually going to let that lead into another part of it. De La Hoya, he's just taking L's all kind of ways this week, boy. You need a fat 8 ball.
Cocaine cowboy.
Yeah, he got a DUI earlier in the week, and this is post the case being thrown out. Like, this shit happened immediately after.
Before.
Okay.
Before.
Okay. Okay, so he must have knew something was looming then already.
Yeah,
man, we got a whole lot to talk about. Yeah. What's your take on just the whole Golden Boys situation in light of the court case, Oscar's DUI? I'm gonna let 2K take this one, man.
Well, I mean, you already know how I roll, man. I really don't give a fuck too much about these niggas, but. This is the thing, man. This is why I said when we were discussing Shakur Stevenson and in an unrelated conversation, me and Seth, my co-hosts, were talking about Michael Conlon, who these guys were going to sign with. I said, do not sign with fucking Golden Boy. You know what I'm saying? I said the best thing for these guys to do wherever they go is to not sign with fucking Golden Boy. And I said Bob Arum. Michael Conlon ended up signing with Bob Arum. But and it's because these guys are declining now. At that time, Bob Arum still had the case out, that lawsuit on Al Heyman, and being the smart fella that he is, he said, "Well, I should already know where this is going. So let me go ahead and kill this case, take my settlement, and then try to do business with him, because that's where boxing's heading. I'm still trying to make this money, even though I'm 172 years old. I'm still trying to make this money. So." He did the smart thing. Golden Boy didn't. Why? Because their fucking CEO is too busy snorting cocaine instead of actually making the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? So, in his case, that's why I said don't fuck with these guys, because they are going on a decline fast, just like HBO is going on the decline. HBO is choosing to do this. They're choosing to phase boxing out. Golden Boy is not choosing to lose their stable. He just lost them motherfuckers to Al Heyman because they realized that their CEO and their guy that is running their career is not stable enough to do so in a constructive fucking manner. Okay? So it's common sense. So, looking at the Al Heyman case getting thrown out, I already knew that was going to happen. Al Heyman's got too much clout. You know what I'm saying? I already knew the case was going to get thrown out. As far as him and his DUI, what else is new? Like, this is actually good news compared to him wearing stockings and fucking bras and shit and having lines of cocaine on his goddamn mustache. What the fuck? This is good news. I mean, I'm just saying. Shit.
Oh,
I'm
man.
done, man. I ain't got nothing to say about these stupid motherfuckers, man. Like, look, man.
Hey, this is the first final blow of the show. Let me the final blow.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, it's just, it as long as boxing is still fucking running, I could care less what promoter makes it and what promoter doesn't. It's funny shit to talk about them because some of, well, Oscar, I was going to say some of them. No, it ain't none of it. Oscar be doing some dumbass shit. And let me say this. Why does Oscar get a pass all the time, dog, for everything he does? Nobody talks about this shit. Like,
man, you know, they built that Golden Boy shit. They built that Golden Boy brand, you know, fucking going back to his Olympic shit, you know, this squeaky clean. You know, my shit is golden. My turd is golden.
Why?
Well, you tell us about yeah. Well, why does he get the pass?
Let me tell you something. They give Oscar De La Hoya a pass because for a very long time, if you watch them emails, Oscar, a lot of those media outlets was in cahoots with Oscar to bring down motherfucking PBC.
Oh yeah, fucking he owns Ring TV. You know what I'm saying?
He owns Ring TV. Exactly. So motherfuckers can get like Dan Raphael tweeted happily about, oh, I talk to Oscar like every other day and shit like that. That's why he gets the fucking pass.
You're talking from a business standpoint. I'm not talking about from a business standpoint. I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean the fans?
Why the fuck are the fans giving Oscar a pass? You see what I'm saying? Like they don't talk about none of this shit. What people don't understand is the fans run boxing. We run this shit. Okay? The promoters go off of what we want, nigga, and they are actually putting the fuck to us because they're
Hello? 2K?
Yeah, I guess he
Did he pop a blood vessel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got so mad he touched phone.
Hey, I think he's about to touch on the Boxingscene article.
We was actually gonna get on. That was actually the next topic.
But you know what? Hold on, man.
But I want to pick that
Let me do my job, Bernard. Let me do my job, Bernard.
No, hold on.
Can I do my job, Bernard?
You cut Bodo. Okay, do it.
All right, we was actually going to go into this. This was going to be our next topic anyway. Was the Boxingscene Anti-PBC effect article by Jay Donovan. Excellent article. Y'all got to check it out if you have not seen it yet. Bernard, go ahead and drop it because I know both you and Bo got some interesting.
I wanted to piggyback on the last article that was talked about.
Okay, go ahead.
Then I'll transition to the next one. As for the Golden Boy lawsuit, there were 3 fights that showed that PBC and Golden Boy had worked together. It was the Wilder the Canelo Khan, and the featherweight fight between Oscar Escudero and Robertson Castellanos. Well, then they also cited another fight that was potentially coming up this year, which is the Canelo versus Chavez Jr. fight. If anybody don't know, Chavez Jr. is signed to Wanheng Management. So right there, they eliminated that one. But something that really intrigued me, and I got to give credit to the judge, Judge Walter. He wrote down that Golden Boy declined to do business with Heyman, and there was no evidence that showed Heyman Sports has ever refused a Golden Boy request to promote one of his boxes. And in fact,
that's why I said that the judge said that the evidence y'all produced incriminated you guys more than it did Heyman.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm just explaining the evidence so people will go do the research themselves so they can see. But it's kind of shocking that they wanted to have Luis Ortiz on the PBC card and they refused that. But did you notice though? See, what's really kind of shocking that Bo didn't pick up on. I was glad he didn't say it. But when Tyreek and Heyman settled, that settlement benefited Golden Boy with them joining ESPN and with a 2-year deal with 42 fights.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of think like that. You benefited from a top-ranked settlement, and you still wanted to keep your lawsuit going on. Well, pretty much.
Let's bring that up. The basis of it was the Ali Act. That was their main basis of their argument, and that shit, there was no foundation, no basis for it, period. It was completely unfounded. Go ahead, Bernard.
Right. So now I'm going to transition into the article that was recently put on Boxingscene explaining anti-Heyman, the Golden Boy, emails, everything like that. Last week we spoke on Angel Garcia versus pretty much Keith Thurman at the press conference with him and his rant and everything like that. That took precedence over everything else that happened in boxing during that week, including the emails. The emails were swept under the rug. The only people that put it out there was Bloody Elbow. So let's transition to this. It's pretty much now, as you can see, the media is very biased.
Don't say the mainstream. Mainstream. You got to put that out there.
Excuse me. Mainstream, ESPN, US Today, all them guys on the mainstream side, not the boxing site, other than Ring TV. Ring TV, ESPN, and other mainstream that talk about boxing are biased, totally biased, totally against Al Heyman and his PBC thing, and you can see it. That's a PBC fight that's happened, Thurman versus Garcia. That was a press conference. You saw that how the father Angel said his thing and it blew up. But as the Golden Boy and those emails, nothing came out of it except for on the Bloody Elbow article. Now let's transition to this. With piggyback on what I just said earlier about how Golden Boy benefited from this settlement with Tarek and Heyman. When Heyman and PBC joined joint venture with ESPN, I'm not going to say his name, but ESPN, a certain journalist, a writer on ESPN that sits on his ass,
Fat Nathan's Hot Dog Eater. Fat Nathan's Hot Dog Eater. That is how he is known and labeled on this show.
Hey, you say his name. I'm going to leave that to you. Decided to say it was a bad idea, not noting that the three cards they had, three nice main events. You had the Thurman versus Collazo, Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi, and then you also had Abner Mares versus Leo Santa Cruz. So you sit there and tell me now you go from this thing, and you say it wasn't all that great on ESPN. Now you're going to up-and-coming fights with Golden Boy. It's a shame. It's total nonsense. Then not only that, you also keep what's the word? You talk about the budget cuts that's going on, or the over budgeting going on with PBC, which was a logical policy. In fact, it was lies, or you would call it alternative facts, going on. When actually Heyman didn't run through all that money, but you never spoke about the budget cuts going on at HBO. Never spoke about the budget cuts going on at HBO. In fact, if you did, you was, as it said in the Boxingscene article, you was very forgiving about it. You talked about the fights that go on with PBC, not good quality fights. In fact, you talked about how PBC didn't show any fights for the rest of the year until the December 10th card, which it was Richard Shea. Richard Shea was coming out as a promoter. That was a great card, but you shit on that. But you didn't say anything about the low quality fights being held on HBO. The Dominic Wade versus Triple G, Carver versus Molina. Who else?
Canelo versus Khan. Yeah, I can't even say that one. Khan is still upper echelon.
But
no,
I
mean
mismatch.
I'm talking about as far as mismatch. Yeah.
Well,
you could have said Canelo and Liam, but that's your.
That one, yeah. But they were, as mainstream would say, hey, they got whatever, how many, over 300, almost 300 pay-per-view buys, so there's nothing wrong with that fight. You know what I'm saying? With this post-Mayweather-Pacquiao pay-per-view situation going on. So you see a lot of. It's a hypocrisy, man. It's a lot of hypocrisy, man. And like I said, man, let me put this out there real quick, Bernard. Man, we don't pick no sides here. We just give y'all the motherfucking facts. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, man. And, people are going to label us, they going to label us what they label us. I'm not even going to say what they going to label us, you know what I'm saying? But
We just present the straight motherfucking facts, and we've been doing this since we've been on this show, and look at how shit is turning out. You know what I'm saying? Look at how things are playing out now. We told y'all this shit months ago. We've been on top of this shit. So now it's a surprise when you see articles like this come out on
Boxingscene, Bloody Elbow.
We've been talking this shit, man. We've been on this. Go ahead, Bernard.
No, I want to piggyback on what you said. We basically want to bring the integrity back to the media side of boxing. And hopefully push it into mainstream so they can have their facts right and write the truth there.
So it should be less agenda driven, man. Like there should be no picking sides as a journalist, man. Fucking just put the shit out there, you know. Anything else you want to add on? Because you definitely been going in on this. I know I want to give Bo at least.
No, I want to tag. I was going to tag Bo in if he said something. Anything after that, I might piggyback after it, or piggyback after you. See how it goes. So no, Bo, I'm tagging you in.
Man, dude, check one on the MIC. Pass the mic to your boy. I appreciate that. Check this out, man. You said everything, but before I used to go where I want to go, I want to say this. About Oscar DUI, you know what the punk part the punk part about that DUI was? Apparently, this motherfucker got drunk off wine coolers. Like, I ain't a drinker. I can very much tell motherfuckers I got drunk off wine coolers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a drinker, but I'll be damn I tell a motherfucker I'm drunk off wine coolers.
Damn, bro. Damn,
what the fuck is you, a bitch? I'm just saying, like, motherfuckers really don't get drunk off wine coolers.
Final blow number 2.
Wait a minute, dog. Real talk.
Final blow number 2.
Real talk. Long time ago, back in my single days, you was not going to get no woman drunk and take her home and get them draws on the wine coolers. All right? That's just some real shit now.
Oh, man.
Don't nobody go to the bar, pick up a chick and say, hey, give her that wine cooler with 1% alcohol. No, they don't. They say, hey, give her gin, double.
Right. Hennessy on the rock.
All right? That's what they do. That's how I found that kind of punkish. But what you said about that double standard is very true. My issue is you had Dan Rafael calling for the head of Angel Garcia. He
said his name, man. You said his damn name.
Oh, my bad. Well, anyway, he was calling for the head of Angel Garcia. But he has not whispered a stutter word about not just the journalist who made the racial comment, but the fact that Golden Boy hasn't even responded to this shit. Like, Golden Boy has yet to release a statement, and I'm really disappointed in Bernard Hopkins. I'm extremely disappointed in him. Like, you should be the first one to open your mouth and fucking talk.
Yeah, as much as he has something to say about everything else, he ain't had shit to say about it.
Is he on Uncle Tom status now? I mean, is he pulling the Steve Harvey and
Oh yeah.
You know,
it is what it is. Yeah.
De La Hoya's gonna be the Donald Trump if you would call it boxing. I mean, he's Hispanic, you know what I'm saying? He's building that wall up for no black.
You know, that just rings crazy to me because here's a situation, and people want to tell me something about, oh, well, the difference is Angel Garcia shit was a big event. Excuse me, this lawsuit, the minute it was filed, became a public big fucking event. Anything about Al Heyman became a public big motherfucking event. And the crazy part about it is...
It affected the whole sport. It affected the whole sport. This thing with Garcia was just one event. So I definitely hear you.
But think about this for a second, though, fellas. Think about this for 1 second. Al Heyman is a public mainstream media star that don't do shit in mainstream media. Like, how the fuck did Al Heyman become a public mainstream media figure who don't do shit on social media at all?
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you
nothing.
I'm gonna tell you why, Bo. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me get this out before I forget.
Okay.
One thing to Bernard's point is this right here. The bad part about what we're seeing right now is all of this has been taken away from what should have been a great year in boxing last year. And it took away, because of the dividing or trying to make you pick and choose who you want to go, it took away from fights like Thurman and Porter. It took away from astonishing feats like Earl Spence and 6 million people watching. It took away from, a lot of fights that were really good fights. It took away from that on both sides. Like I say this all the time. You got Diego De La Hoya, Jorge Linares, Jojo Diaz. Them dudes is over there in Golden Boy, and guess what? We don't know nothing about them. Why? Because everybody's too busy trying to tell you.
Don't even fight in the U.S. He fight mainly.
Exactly.
He fight mainly in the U.K.
Right.
In recent years. So.
And he's actually the lineal champion at 130. Okay,
yeah,
but
nobody knows. Yeah.
Nobody knows that because why? Mainstream media was too busy trying to make you pick a side and keeping up this fight. Okay, so much so to the point it's gotten to the point now where they ain't got to say shit. Nobody gives a fuck if they say anything, do they just? It's out there now. It's become evident and apparent now. So I listen. The thing about social media is everything I ever want to know about social media, and the funny thing about mainstream media is they on social media now. You know why? Because that's what everybody's turning to get their information. Nobody is even looking at fucking mainstream media no more to get shit. Everybody looks at fucking, I'm talking about as far as boxing-wise. As boxing-wise, everybody looks at social media to get their information boxing-wise because fighters are on social media. Trainers are on social media. So if I want something, like we get interviews with trainers and fighters. Why? Through social media. So if I want something, I don't have to go to ESPN or Boxing Scene or I ain't got to do that. I go to social media, tag this dude. If he responds, he responds. If he don't, he don't. Bam. There, I got my information. They put shit on social media. So I'm hoping going forward this year that all the motherfuckers understand one thing. This sport don't belong to you. It don't belong to the promoter. It don't belong to whoever the fuck. This sport belongs to those of us that's going to reach in our pockets and pay to watch it. And the problem that you have is the reason why pay-per-view numbers is down, the reason why we talking about how certain guys ain't getting shine and all that is because when you make motherfuckers pick a side, and they pick a side, this is what the fuck you're going to get. You're going to get division within the sport that you don't have in basketball, football, baseball, UFC, no motherfucking place else. But you have it in boxing. Why? Because we've allowed these motherfuckers to come in and say, hey, pick a side, and then this who we're going to appeal to. Fuck you guys that's been carrying the sport all our lives. You try to appeal to the casual fans, look at what the fuck happened.
Yeah. Let me piggyback on what you said, Bo.
Yeah, make it quick, Bernard, because we still got a lot of stuff to go in on. Let me try and make it quick.
You cutting me off, so it's gonna be real quick. I'm gonna say this: the reason why Al Heyman, the lure is so popular in their eyesight is because you don't know anything really about Al Heyman. He's not on TV. He's not on social media. He's making the stuff you just said. He's making moves, and you don't even know about it. He don't need to talk to the media. And the fact that he's not giving anybody interviews or anything like that speaks volumes and is making them kind of like, yo, who is this guy that's coming in, making all these moves and boxing, and he's doing all this stuff. So if you ain't got anything good to say about it because you don't have a thought, you're going to say everything negative.
Yeah.
In order for you to try to get something out of him, and he's not moving. It's a chess move. On his ass.
That's actually a good point. Bernard. I'm actually like the lone one that's actually involved in the media on this one as far as live coverage, outside of you guys' outlets. And I know for a fact that Fat Nathan's hot dog eater despises Heyman because he's not accessible to the media. I know this for a fact. So that's actually a good point you bring up, Bernard. We got a whole lot to go in, and we just getting started, y'all, man. We going in, man. I'm glad we got that topic out of the way. That was definitely one that's been, we've been brewing on all week. Bo brought it to my attention early on in the week, like we got to talk about this shit. So definitely one of our more intriguing topics. Anytime we get a chance to do some research and put these kind of things out there. I love these topics on our show. So let's definitely get into the next one. looks like Amir Khan versus Kell Brook is their talks are pretty much out of whack, not going to happen. It's not looking feasible at the moment because a Klein made a 70-30 purse split. Now, let me put a caveat out there. Let me put a caveat out there first. Even with the 7-30 split, Garrett would still be making more than he made against Gennady Golovkin. So let me put that caveat out there before I let y'all go in. I'll start off with you, Bernard. What's your thoughts on this whole situation?
I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going. I had this as my final blow. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, cool.
So, Bo, don't go in, but go in. But can you just you know what I'm saying? Give them just a, give them a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the fuckery on my end on the final blow. Hell, if you want me to bring it now, I'll let both start. I'll bring it afterwards. So it's your call.
Okay, go ahead, Bo. Anything you want to chime in on about this as far as with that, even with me putting the caveat out there, just your opinion, he still be making more than he made against Gennady Golovkin. What do you think about Brook turning down the fight that he supposedly wanted for so long and he still be making the highest payday of his career? Anything you might, what do you want to chime in? Anything you want to chime in or your thoughts on the period, man? Bo.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Did you say Brooks or Khan?
Both. Brook would be making more than he made against Triple G, even with the 70-30 split that was proposed by Khan's team. So with that said, he still be making more than he made in the Gennady Golovkin fight. But Brook's team seems to be still disrespected by the offer, and it's pretty much talks ain't looking good. So let me get your thoughts on that, man.
Okay, I ain't gonna go in too deep because I know my man B got this for his final blow. Let me say this right here about that though, about that situation. The fact of the matter is, even if Khan would have made more, from what he fought even though Brooks would have made more than when he fought Gennady Golovkin, the reality is Brooks ain't no 30% motherfucking split motherfucker. I'm sorry, he's just not.
Yeah.
Because when you think about what Brooks did at 147, it was better than what Khan did. Why? Because Brooks beat a fucking legitimate goddamn champion in Kell goddamn Brooks. Okay? I mean, in Sean fucking Porter. Then Brooks stepped up and fought the guy who Canelo didn't want to fight in a lot of people's eyes and had a better showing when he fought the much bigger, harder Gennady Golovkin and had a better showing than Amir Khan. Put it like this. With the way Amir Khan lost, even though Brooks lost too, but the way with what Amir Khan lost, it leaves a big question mark on what's left of this motherfucker, what's left in his tank. Then, of course, the news, that the other thing that came out about him. So, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm Amir Khan, no. I mean, if I'm Kell Brooks, hell no. I would definitely tell Amir Khan to stick it. If you talk about some 70-30 splits, when we both know the only reason why this fight is going to make this much money is because you are fighting me. Okay? Like, we both need each other. This fight's making this kind of money because you are fighting me. So, he's not a 30% dude that you get that money to. I think he deserved 40%. Myself, 60-40. But I never felt that Khan wanted this fight. Like, you know what's funny is, Khan is doing the Brooks what Brooks is doing to fucking Errol Spence. When you think about it. Yeah. Amir Khan is doing the Kell Brooks.
I mean,
Kell Brooks doing the Spence.
Honestly, I could attest to, we got, your in-ring IQ. We got cats like George Gill that's, over in the UK. Khan is still the motherfucking name out there over Brook. This was Brooks' first sellout was with fucking Gennady Golovkin. Like, his first one. He couldn't even fucking sell out in Sheffield. So I understand Khan's, negotiating angle. And like I said, he still be making more than he made against Triple G with the 7-30 split. So I'm like, how bad does Brooks really want to fight? Go out there and beat this motherfucker down, you know what I'm saying, if that's what it is. That's supposedly what it's been about all along, and you be making fucking a bigger payday, your biggest payday still. I mean, I think this is coming down to ego. I mean, this is a fight.
Well, ego plus, but you know what, though? See, this is why I have a problem with that statement is because when it comes to Gennady Golovkin and he's getting more, he's ever got with $15 million, people are saying, no, he shouldn't take that. Hold out for more. So why should Kell Brooks do something that we said other motherfuckers should have?
That is true. Very true. Very true. But, I mean, this is a fight that needed to happen, man, because it's one of the biggest things that can happen in the UK. So, they need to get up. Both of them need to get over that shit, man. 60-40, I definitely agree with you on that, Bo. That's definitely what I'd be angling for if I was Brooke. Because, that's just me recognizing Game Khan. You're still the bigger name over me, even though I'm the champion here. Khan is
hold on. I want to say something. I got a question. Why can't it be 50-50? Name versus title.
Why would it be a 50-50 when Khan's a bigger name? Like, he's still A-side. That's just what it is. Even in the UK, he's the bigger name over there. Like I said, Brook did not sell out a fucking thing until Gennady Golovkin. And this is even fighting in Sheffield in his backyard. Could not sell out anything. Against JoJo Dan and the Gavin Reeses and, them motherfuckers he was fighting. I ain't even going to go into that shit. Yeah, that's another topic. But,
Well, no, I'm going to speak on that. Don't worry about that. I got that. I got you on the final blow.
But I was just answering your question, man. Khan is still the bigger name over there.
I just asked. That's all I asked because I kind of wonder, like, man, y'all can't. They can't be no give or take. You know what I'm saying? The 60-40, I totally agree. Like, but here's the problem though with that. Well, in the process, is he saying 70-30 because he knows if he fight Brooks' title may not be on the line because he may end up getting stripped of the belt due to the IBO. The IBF.
That's actually something else I was going to bring up. Khan doesn't, Khan want. Well, I guess Brook wants this to be an immediate match. Khan wanted a fight before in the interim because he's coming off his hand injury. And Khan was basically saying, go ahead, fight Brook. Fight Spence. Fight your mandatory. And when we fight, it'll be even bigger because it'll be for a title. Before a title. If he doesn't fight Spence, he's going to be stripped. Period. So Khan was like, let's fucking fight your mandatory. Stay out one.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. He's touching to my final blow.
Okay, well,
a little bit.
I'll go ahead and let it go, man.
I got you on that. Trust me, I'm bringing the fuck up.
All right, for sure. So we'll go ahead and cut to our next topic, man, and let you go in on the final blow on that one. But yeah, it's definitely a fight. It's one of the biggest things that can happen in the UK, and that's why I hate for this shit to be going down like this because we're in danger of actually not seeing this fight, and it is going to be something both of these guys regret, not making the biggest fight for their country. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest. That's the thing that looms in my mind is that, over some stupid shit. We're really in danger of not seeing this happen. So we got 2K back on the line. Welcome back, brother. We're going to go into our next topic. WBO, with their fuckery, making, they got Billy Ho Saunders. They finally gave my boy Khurtsidze his just due and ordering the fight between him and Billy Ho Saunders, man. I'm going to start off with 2K, man. Do you think Billy Ho is even going to take this fight now that he's actually mandatory?
That's a good question. It sounds like I got back on time to hear the Billy Ho fuckery. You know what I'm saying? I'm pissed off because I was making a point, man. I don't know what the fuck happened, but anyway.
God saved you.
Yeah, I start talking about the government, all of a sudden my line goes dead.
God saved you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That light shit don't help you with Trump, goddammit.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
that privacy act.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I don't know, man. That's a good question. If they mandate it, what can he do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can relinquish the belt, allow them to strip him. There's nobody that he could fight in place of Khurtsidze and then give Khurtsidze step aside money. I mean, Khurtsidze's not really known like that to the point where he would be like, all right, yeah, I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would. But what can he do? He has to fight him or get stripped, basically.
Well,
that's the way I see it.
Let me piggyback on what you're saying about the step aside money. Well, Billy Joe don't want to take Khurtsidze. He wants to take Ryota Murata in Japan, and he's thinking about paying your guy step aside money.
Right.
Because the Japan fight would be more of a lucrative fight, in his opinion.
Okay. If he decides to do that, this is the thing, though. Billy Ho is not a fucking Miguel Cotto. You know what I'm saying? Billy Ho is not a Canelo Alvarez. Billy Ho don't make that kind of money. So the step-aside money would probably be some whack bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking like what regular niggas' salary make, like $60K. You know what I'm saying? That's what step-aside money would be, dog. And if I'm Khurtsidze, I'm like, hell nah, nigga. I'm trying to get more money.
Trying to get to Triple G, yep.
And I'm trying to get that belt, exactly. And then, like my man just said, trying to get to Triple G. So I don't think taking step-aside money would even benefit that motherfucker in all reality. So, yeah, man, I don't see him being able to do anything. Now, again, of course, this is all speculation. I'm thinking Khurtsidze is, going to have some integrity and say, no, nigga, I want to fight you. Fuck the step-aside money. Maybe he might take the $60K. Who knows? But if he doesn't, Billy Ho about to lose that belt, straight up.
I mean, Billy Ho be all over the place, man. I think I seen something about him a week or two ago talking about he may hang it up and shit like that. This boy don't know what the fuck he want to do, man.
Well, he with Adam Booth now. He think he got a new lease on life. He with Adam Booth. So that shit ain't gonna matter.
Well, let me get your take on this, man. Is Billy Ho gonna be a champion and actually fight somebody worthwhile like Khurtsidze? Or do you see him continuing to be reluctant to get in there with anybody worth mentioning and trying to continue to babysit this belt? Which is probably, I guess he can't anymore with this mandated order from the WBO. But let me get your thoughts on it, bro. Don't tell me we done lost this motherfucker to technical difficulties too, man. He's been in and out on.
Bro, let me see. Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Man, nah. See, I'm sorry. I know what it is, man. You don't be on mute. I know what it is. This nigga got ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Got short
This coming from a nigga that fell asleep during a live podcast?
That was Puppy Joe.
I did today. I was fucking off a fucking 12-hour shift and still going for multiple hours after. I was dog tired.
This nigga was sitting there, eyes closed, mouth open, drooling shit. Susie Q dripping down his goddamn chin and shit. Are you kidding me?
Hey, he asked me last minute to do it. I'm ready to go to sleep anyway after fucking working 12 hours, dog. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Play a fuck up every now and then, all right? Shit. Stall the nigga out. Stall me out, bro. Stall me out. Shit.
Okay. Hey, I want to say something now that we got 2K back on the line, because I just want to know from his perspective, how would he feel about this, being an alpha male and shit. When Oscar De La Hoya got that DUI 2K, he said he got drunk off wine coolers, and I wanted your take on that shit. Like, that's some seriously unnecessary shit.
Hey, bro. See, a nigga like me, I was drinking Maker's Mark. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking whiskey straight. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never got pulled over for DUI after drinking whiskey straight. My take on that, hey, Oscar De La Hoya is exactly what he has told us and shown us he is. When
wearing
panties.
Wearing
panties and shit, he's a fag. That's why he gets drunk off wine coolers.
Man, you was best off saying he got drunk off 211 shit.
Dude, I mean, he was just best off just taking that one on the chin, period. Just, oh, damn, I'm sorry. Nigga kills fast as a bride, he tears off wine coolers.
Nigga, you go to a bar with Oscar De La Hoya, you're going to be like, yeah, let me get a whiskey on the rocks from my man Oscar over here. Let me get him a cherry vodka sour. That's the type of shit you're going to order back at.
Nah, you get his ass a club soda. A club soda now.
No, hey, a Long Island iced tea. A strawberry daiquiri.
Yeah, right. Virgin strawberry daiquiri. With a lemon in the top and a picture on it. Might be too strong for this motherfucker. All right, but
final number 3.
Billy Joe Saunders, man. We say this on the see. The reason why I like doing this podcast with you guys is, regardless of whether I agree, regardless even sometimes whether I like hearing it, the shit is fucking true. Like, there's nothing we've said on this podcast that haven't come into fruition, even in our debates. And 2K said this best. This motherfucker got a title. Glad he got a title. Now he want to hold on to that motherfucker as long as he possibly can. Oh. He don't want to do anything that would risk him losing his title. Y'all had on the gods of the divas of boxing talk, 2K and Seth had 2K. I'm just playing, but on 2K show the gods of boxing, they had Jacob's trainer on there, and he said something about he said something about, man, if they try to skip over my fighter, I'm gonna stand on the highest building and scream this out. And he's absolutely right. There's no way this dude who has earned the right, like the WBO is trying to do him like the WA been doing Luis Ortiz all of 2016. This motherfucker earned the right to be the mandatory. You don't give it up just because you think of money or whatever it is. And this is when moves like that is done. This is the kind of shit that hurts fucking boxing. Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor McGregor don't hurt motherfucking boxing and stuff like that. What hurt boxing is when you have organizations doing moves like this, taking the dude out and throwing the dude in for no other reason than it's just being money. So will he fight him? I'll be honest with you, man. I really don't know. Because it's hard to tell what's going on in the head of this dude. This dude turned down Stevens, Rosado, even Jacobs, and he turned down Rosado told us, what does beating Rosado do for me? Well, what does struggling against fucking a stuntman did for you? Like, what did struggling against that dude you started, what did that do for you? Like, what are you doing for your career? That don't do enough for my career. What are you doing for your fucking career? Like Andy Lee was so last year, if Billy Joe Saunders was an American fighter, if Billy Joe Saunders was Spence, Andre Ward, Floyd, Deontay Wilder, they fucking crucify him. Why? Because he doing the motherfucking Rigo. He did it to these dudes.
All right. We gonna go into our next topic, man. We just got a whole bunch of things, De La Hoya and Golden Boy, to talk this week. But, they ain't giving us much action anywhere else inside the ring. So, at the moment. We got Yuriorkis Gamboa, and I guess I got to let fucking Cuba Loca go in on this one, being that it's one of his biased topics that he would love to just school everybody on, you know what I'm saying? He signed with Golden Boy this week, man. My biggest thing is, at this stage of his career, is it too little too late? Like he's had, I won't say Cubans have a loyalty thing. This is something I've learned from both. It's more of a loyalty thing with them. It's not necessarily just bad business practices. It's more or less they're loyal to the people that helped them get out of their situation, man. So, with that said, is it too little too late with Yuriorkis to be signing the Golden Boy, which is probably the best stable he's been on in years, since he was actually with TR. Let me get your thoughts on that. Both chime in.
First of all, I know let's keep it 100 and be truthful. You pass this shit to me because you know what kind of situation this is. Don't say you pass this motherfucker off to me to as if you throwing me a bone, motherfucker. No, nigga, that ain't why you pass this shit off to me, because you know how fucking stupid and toxic this shit is. If it's too little too late, I think only time will tell. I don't think we know just yet. We won't know until his first fight. Is it legit that he went with Golden Boy? Now, as far as them, you said being a loyal thing, it's a loyal thing, and it's also a bad business decision thing. And I'm just going to keep it real. It's a bad business decision thing. Listen, they don't necessarily, they know that they have the stuff working in the ring, but outside the ring, they don't necessarily have a idea of the game on how it's done because they come from a system in boxing where that's not even, like money isn't even something that you concern yourself with because they don't have a professional thing over there in Cuba. So, Yuriorkis Gamboa made a bad decision when he even re-signed with 50 for whatever reason. Now he's with Golden Boy. And I really don't know if this is a good move for him or not because of the condition and situation that Golden Boy is in right now.
Exactly.
When you look at who he can fight, like 50 threw him to the wolves when he threw him to Terrence Crawford. Okay? When you look at who he can fight, like is Oscar going to throw him to the wolves and eventually like throw him in there with a Lomachenko, especially after seeing what's been going on with Vargas? So, and then 2K made a really good point. You have a guy in Oscar who you don't know if he's going to be there. Like when Canelo fought Floyd, he had to be checked in the rear. So you don't know going forward with your career, can I trust this motherfucker with my career? So I think time will tell if it was a good move or not. From a fact that he's with a promotional company that has some type of a better name behind him, some good legitimacy behind him that can keep him busy. From that aspect of it, I like it from that aspect of it, but I still worry about it because depending on the opponent he gets and how he looks, it could very well be too little too late because the prime portion of his life when he could have had some good fights and probably made a name for himself could very well be past because this dude ain't been in the ring in 2 years. And, you know, the most action he saw was a street fight. And that's just that's me being real. I'm trying to be funny. That's me being the most.
He looked rusty as hell at that shit too.
Hold on now. Whoa.
Hey, 2K, how did you have it again? Well, your score again.
Yo, hold on, wait a minute. There's only so much I'm gonna fucking tolerate of truth there. Okay?
Hey, bro. 117, 111, man. The other guy. Straight up.
So what? I'm gonna end this with this right here. Y'all my dogs, but fuck all y'all, man.
Hey, let me pick up where Bo left off with this whole Gamboa thing. This situation going on, Gamboa is pretty much going to return against Rene Alvarado on HBO on March 11th on the undercard of Lemieux Stevens. And I just took some notes. He's 35 years old. He only fought once in 2012 and 2013, twice in 2014, and once in 2015. And if you want to catch the fight in the gym, you can count that at 2016. So technically, I would like to see him more active this year. Hopefully, get 3 fights under his belt this year.
Now, Bo, let me get this from you. You in contact with a lot of these Cuban cats, dog. You know, as far as they people that are affiliated with him as well. Gamboa does a lot of hanging out with motherfucking TMT and the money team. How the fuck did that not ever come to fruition? And he ends up signing the motherfucking Golden Boy now. That shit amazes me.
Man, that amazes me too. I haven't heard nothing on. Say what now?
They probably didn't want him. He's too old. He's too inactive. They probably didn't want his ass.
True. Good point.
And then too, but well, you know, here's the thing. And like I haven't heard nothing back from Burnett and Chatter because you know, I hit up 305. I hit up Boxing Cubano, and they was, you know, especially Boxing Cubano. He was just as shocked as me. Like, man, like we had like that came out of nowhere. Outside of the fact that they probably didn't want him, he's too old. When you really think about it, if you're starting out like TMT and you have Tank Davis, you have you know a couple other fighters that you're looking at. Would you really look at Gamboa as somebody, because Gamboa is a former champion, so he may come with a tag that you like, why would I waste it on him and he ain't proved anything to me in 2 years yet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a former world champion, so he's going to come with a tag, and you're going to be like, is Gamboa the kind of fighter that Oscar will put on ESPN? He shouldn't be. But he comes with a price tag that you might look at like, can I really afford this and do something with it right now?
Why not Al Heyman pick him up?
That the same damn. I mean, why would Al Heyman get Gamboa really should be at 126, but why would Al Heyman get? You know what I'm saying? Why would Al Heyman get him? He got Robert Easton Jr., Richard Comey. Gamboa, I think he fights at 130, 135.
He got 130.
You know, you got Rance Bartholomew. You got Rance Bartholomew and his brother. So why would you look at a Gamboa? You know?
Why not put them two against each other in Florida? In front of the community?
Not right now. Not right now.
Yeah, and like you said, you know,
I don't mean right now, but build that matchup up.
I mean, like Gambo, like Bo said, well, you guys said he's 35 years old, man, and, you know, with that Cuban record system, he probably really 40. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, we don't know what to really...
I'm on American Airlines right now. I'm buying a ticket for Denver, Colorado.
Every chance I get, I'm going in, man.
Yeah, okay, I'm buying a ticket for Denver, Colorado. You gonna pick me up at the airport, right? I'm gonna bring my boxing gloves with me, Twine.
Yeah, I ain't picking your ass up. You better Uber over here. We gonna get into our next topic, man. Joseph Parker versus Hughie Fury is going to purse bid this week. Let me go ahead, man, and let it get it out, brother. I know you.
Bro, man, I feel like I just ate like some fucking Brussels sprouts or some shit, dog. That's
wow.
Man, I don't know if y'all seen.
That is mandatory though, so you know.
Yeah, you right. It's just, man. Now y'all niggas seen that nigga Hughie Fury fight? I don't even get a nigga.
I've seen him, and I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with anything I've seen from him.
Hughie Fury, man, that boy is extremely whack, fam. Like, okay, so I'm just gonna say this. After watching Joseph Parker in his last 3 fights, minus what was that guy's name, Human Solomon or whatever his fucking name was, that bum in between of Carlos Takam and Andy Ruiz. So just counting those 2 fights, in order for him to get WBO, he needs to fight guys like Hughie Fury, fam. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody know the nigga named Hughie, but I call him Hughie because he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't proven himself. He talks shit like he's somebody, but he ain't really nobody. Before they were trying to make Jarrell Miller fight Joseph Parker, in my opinion, I think that's a good fight. I think Joseph Parker will possibly lose that fight. I'm not sure.
It's a dangerous fight. Yeah, it's a dangerous fight for him.
It's kind of dangerous, but it's still a better matchup than Hughie. You know what I'm saying? And they still in the same class, so to speak, Jarrell Miller and Joseph Parker. So I actually like that fight better. But he does need to fight these guys. Stay away from the rest of the champions, dog. You won't be champion for very long.
Yeah, this is actually a mandatory fight, I do believe, as well, against Hughie, or Hughie, as TK likes to call him.
It is.
You got anything else you were going to add on to the topic before I swing into the other panelists? Okay. Bernard, let me get your take on this fight, man. It's not the prettiest thing, you know, with the prettiest matchup out there. You know, we all agree on that one. But let me get your thoughts.
My thoughts is next.
Make that short and simple. Bolo, you got it.
Hugo Fury and Joseph Parker, huh? Wow. 2K already commented on that? Yeah, he already commented. Bernard said next. I'm just going to leave it like this. 2 words. Bob Arum.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, we can't fault him for no mandatory shit neither. It's just
he controlled the rankings.
Period.
He controlled the rankings, man.
Yo, he controlled the WBO, I believe. Shit.
Yep. Hell yeah.
So I guess we are pretty much in agreement, man, that there's nothing sexy about this fight. It just is what it is, man. Something happened to keep the heavyweight division world spinning.
Yeah.
It ain't turning it upside down, that's for damn sure. But we got another topic, heavyweights. And this one is pretty, you know, we're going to get some interesting thoughts out on this one. As you guys know, Deontay Wilder's opponent, popped dirty for a positive PED, or was it something else? I think it was a positive PED test.
Yes, sir.
With that said, Gerald Washington looks like he may be the front runner, the replacement for the February 25th fight right now. That's the last I've seen as far as options. But then we had a lot of controversy in the groups we're in this weekend about some shit that Louis King Kong Ortiz was saying. He volunteered his services for the fight. This actually was a lot of debate going on this week about this shit actually in the groups we're in. I'll go ahead and let 2K chime in first on this one. I know Bo got a lot to say just because it's Cuba topic. He devotes his time and most of his time to those topics. Go ahead, 2K. What are your thoughts on Washington? Well, first, the PED. I know you. I really wanted to come to you first because you recently did a show about the PED thing in boxing. So I definitely want to get your take on it because this is happening to you also with fucking Wilder. This is 2-3 times in a row with him. So let me get your thoughts on just that part of it as far as the PEDs being such a big issue, because I know you went in on this on one of your own shows on your platform. But
it's without trying to regurgitate what I said in my video, man. It's pretty much it's a problem that's becoming widespread because we don't have the proper checks and balances to make sure that we can get this shit in order and out of our sport. We got motherfuckers that ain't even on the radar. What was the nigga name? I know his last name was like Wawrzyk or some shit. Wawrzyk.
Wawrzyk.
You don't even know this nigga. Like, come on, man. Why are you taking PEDs? You know what I'm saying? Like, usually the motherfuckers that are pressured, they're top-level fighters, and they're pressured to win big fights are the ones taking PEDs, not motherfuckers that fight bums and shit for a living. They knock a nigga out, and then right after the fight, that nigga got to go, to a motherfucking overnight shift at Denny's or some shit. That's not the niggas that need to take PEDs. You know what I'm saying? So, if it's trickling down to these C-level fighters and shit that aren't even, considered anybody, in the sport, then it tells you how big it can actually be on a grand scale with a bunch of fighters that we don't even know what's going on. Now, VADA is doing that shit with the enrollment of fighters and with the WBC as well, having fighters enroll in their program and shit. But that's just one.
That's only for the top. That's only for the top 15 at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, and so that's just one little area where we're trying to control it. We need to keep going, further in this. But as far as Gerald Washington, man, come on, man. This nigga, Dominic Brazil and Gerald Washington, two wackest heavyweights. The two wackest heavyweights that are being pushed by PBC right now, fam. They niggas is garbage as fuck, dog. Like, I don't see, and you know what? Y'all might disagree with this shit. I told y'all when Luis Ortiz knocked out Bryant Jennings last year, 2 years ago, actually. I think it was in 2015. When he knocked him out, I said Luis Ortiz will be the most avoided heavyweight from now on. Motherfuckers will act like he doesn't exist. And I said specifically Deontay Wilder. Okay? Why is he not? This nigga said, I'll fight you February 25th. Or I think that was when the fight was, February 25th. He said, I'll fight you. He just left a fight last month. He said he's ready right now. Take advantage of that then. Take advantage of that. He's not in shape right now. I doubt he's in shape right now. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and take advantage of him having a smaller training camp because he's got to take some weeks to get the negotiation of the fight ready, get everything in order. Then he can start training camp. Instead of having 8 weeks, the motherfucker probably only has 6. Take advantage of that, Deontay. And he's a bigger name. Why are you trying to fight garbage-ass Gerald Washington? Give me some gloves, nigga. I'll beat that nigga. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm not trying to see that fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. And also Joseph Parker, whenever this happened, And I think that's why Parker and Hughie are going to purse bid, you know what I'm saying, because he's trying to get the Wilder fight too. You know what I'm saying? As soon as it was announced that Wawrzyk failed the PED testing for a steroid, right, this nigga tweeted immediately with his hand raised. There was an image of his hand raised. He's like, shit, let me get that fight. Fight him! He's a champ.
They were in talks already. There were already talks between both Deontay's camp and Wilder's team recently. Within the past couple of weeks about them doing a unification bout before this Hughie Fury shit came up.
Okay. So what was the deal on that? Why are we hearing about Gerald Washington?
Fucking Deontay and his comeback fight shit and hand injury. He wanted the tune-up thing, one of them things, I'm guessing.
Parker is a fucking tune-up. Look at the...
True.
The belt.
He didn't even look good against Andy Ruiz. He didn't even look good against Andy Ruiz.
I'm going to tell you somebody he should have took advantage of. I know y'all might not say this, but it could be an evenly matched fight. Severn versus Wilder.
Nah, man. We don't need to see that. Nah.
I'd actually watch it in the net.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man.
You already beat that nigga, man, and it wasn't even Severn's style is tailor-made for Deontay Wilder. And I ain't trying to see that shit. At least Gerald Washington's a new face, a new nigga in the ring. Even though he's a scrub, in my opinion, he's a new face and a new nigga in the ring. I ain't trying to see Romain Severn, but like what Twine said about the Joseph Parker negotiations, that's the shit I'm talking about with Deontay, man. I mean, I like him. I give him his credit for trying to fight Alexander Povetkin in Russia, okay? Not in the U.S., in Russia. And I told you guys I was extremely critical of Deontay with him fighting Eric Molina, Johan Duhaupas, Artur Spilka, those three guys after beating Romain Severn. I was extremely critical of him, but I told you, I said, if he fights Alexander Povetkin, he signs the fucking dotted line, I will give him his credit due. That fight didn't happen because of Alexander Povetkin. I still give him his credit due, but he's going back to square one now. He's fighting bums. I don't want to see this. Fight Luis Ortiz February 25th.
All right. I don't know if anybody else is going to touch on what's really holding up that fight with Ortiz and Wilder, even if it was something they looked into at this exact moment. Bo, Bo or Bernard, you guys want to tell? I guess I'll give it to Bo since it's Ortiz involved in this topic, man. What's your thoughts on this? Him wanting to put his name in there against Wilder on short notice.
First of all, I'm gonna say this. I am critical of all these motherfucking heavyweights because when Ortiz said all the heavyweights is pussies, not one heavyweight raised their hand and said, I ain't no pussy, I'll take you on.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden Ortiz and call out Deontay Wilder. We got all these motherfucking Ortiz cats all of a sudden popping up out of nowhere supporting Lewis or fucking Tease. When all of 2016, when he was the double mandatory WBA interim and number one contender, nobody said shit. Now, me personally, I'm going to put it like this. Wilder's coming off surgery, and I said then I didn't have a problem with who he's fighting because he's coming off major hand surgery and all of that. So I didn't have a problem with who he's fighting. If you're coming off major surgery, especially with your right hand, which is your money hand, you don't know if that motherfucker's still good, your bicep, then if he's looking at Luis Ortiz and don't want to fight him right now to see how he feels, fine. But for the manager and them to come out and say we don't want to fight him because he failed the drug test and all that, no, that's bullshit. Now this dude ain't failed the test in 7 fights. That part to me is bullshit. I didn't like that at all, period. And I definitely didn't like that. If they even come out and say, okay, you know what, we want to go and unify for a title unification, then I'll accept that. I don't have a problem with him trying to fight somebody to see how his hand hold up, which is his money punch, and how his arm. I don't have a problem with that. But to be totally dismissive of Luis Ortiz in that manner, simply because he failed a drug test, that I have a problem with. And then on top of that, like, I've been getting to a catch all day. I'm like, Anthony Joshua could have fought fucking Luis Ortiz instead of fighting fucking Molina. He could have did that. He could have fought Joseph Parker. Could have fought fucking Luis Ortiz instead of fighting that dude, Dimitrenko. Luis Ortiz wasn't part of the WBC picture until he was always with the WBA. So trust me, I get people that's being critical, but people are being critical. Why? Because it's Deontay Wilder and he was called out. But when Luis Ortiz called out the whole heavyweight division, man, outside of motherfuckers on this panel, wasn't nobody really doing all that fucking talking. Now, should Deontay Wilder fight Luis Ortiz? Of course he should fight Luis Ortiz. I'll be the first one to say that. I mean, you should. And I agree with 2K. Fight him, make a statement. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he takes this fight just to see how his hand and shit is, and then he fights Luis Ortiz next, then go for a unification, okay, I don't have a problem with that. Because actually, I feel like Deontay got, like, there's a lot of unanswered questions about Luis Ortiz. Like, how will he deal with that height? How will he deal with that reach? How will he deal with a good dude that moves like Deontay? How will he deal when he finally feels a true power? And then, you know, there's some questions about Deontay. How will he deal with somebody that's skillful like Luis Ortiz? If Luis Ortiz getting him like Molina got him early and he's more skillful, more powerful, how would he do it? How would he deal with it? So there's a lot of unanswered questions on both sides.
Very true.
They need to be more like, see, this is why I don't like when managers and people talk, because you need to be more, you need to give more clarifications of your comments. Because for you to say, we're not going to fight cheaters, I understand that might have came from a place of frustration because you just had another dude fail a test. And I understand it. That might have came from a place of frustration. Like, you're trying to fight these European guys that people say Deontay don't want to fight, and these motherfuckers are selling drug tests, left and goddamn right. But at the same time, don't look to Luis Ortiz simply because he called out Wilder. He's been calling out all of these fucking heavyweights and nobody wanted to fight him.
And that's been my biggest thing in the groups this week. I guess people think I'm biased towards Deontay. We both, I'm born in Alabama and shit. I'm real proud we got a heavyweight champion from there. I don't, fucking hide that shit for nobody. With that said, though, my point of discontention has been with why wasn't these motherfuckers advocating for Ortiz with the WBA in his situation, man? Why wasn't y'all going hard for him on that shit? You know what I'm saying? I understand him calling out Wilder. There's no problem with that. You supposed to. Saying that's what that's why you guys motherfucking fight for. But you niggas wasn't going hard for motherfucking Ortiz's situation with the WBA. That got him looking fucked right now with fucking Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua fighting for some shit, and Shannon Briggs and Fredo Kendall fighting for another shit. Like, y'all wasn't for going hard for nothing. So that's the shit that pisses me off. It makes my ass itch when motherfuckers do that shit, man.
Hold on, Sly. I got something I want to say real quick. I got a fuckery fight, and the only reason why I want to see this fight happen is because I want this motherfucker to shut the fuck up and get off social media. Throw that crackhead in Charles Martin in and let Deontay Wilder get his ass. That's a quick fight. We can see how that power game works. And then get rid of him, and then, okay, go for the big dog. He's a former champion. So why not just knock his ass out?
But you know what's funny, though? You know what's funny? The same motherfuckers who are advocating for Ortiz and Wilder are the same motherfuckers who are okay with Kell Brooks not fighting motherfucking Earl Spence. Like, where do a lot of these motherfuckers get this double standard shit from? It kills me, man.
The moral compass is lacking, as Bo said in one of his videos from this past week. But another hang-up is with that Deontay Wilder Ortiz fight, which I wish Ortiz would have stayed quiet. You're not even enrolled in the WBC's fucking clean testing program. So get that shit fucking squared away before you start calling motherfuckers out on short notice. Do what the fuck you supposed to do if you really want to fight, motherfucker. Get in that program.
Well, he didn't have to, Twan, because he was going for he was in line for the WBA, so he never even considered that.
But I'm just saying, WBC, he's number 3 rated now, I believe. The fights actually it's a doable fight, but he's not in the fight. He's not enrolled in their drug testing program, so it wouldn't happen anyway on short notice. So just putting that out there, man. I'm realistic in shit too. You gotta be realistic. We're gonna go into another topic that was hot this week, and it's actually becoming I guess there's a little bit of heat brewing. As far as this goes, Sean Porter versus Andre Berchelt looks like it's looming for April. But then you hear two sides of the tale. One side will say that it's happening, and the other side is trying to say ain't shit happening, which is Andre Berchelt. So pretty interesting ordeal. Kenny Porter went in on a video I seen just the other day talking shit about it. Sean Porter was on Fight Hype announcing they were actually on I guess they did something together, Berchelt and Sean Porter, to where they both pretty much said it was about to happen. You know, they were on film together saying that we're going to do this. What do you guys think of this fight, man? I'm going to go ahead and start with Bernard on this one. Sean Porter versus Andre Berchelt in April.
I think it's a great fight. I'm going to say it's more of a crossroads fight for Berchelt than it is for Sean Porter.
I'd agree.
Berchelt, two-time welterweight champion. In his last 3 fights, he's 2 out of 3, and 2 of those ended up with knockouts. Porter, you know, he's still a young fighter, up and coming in his prime. You know, you can still get a couple good fights. A few good fights with him against top level competition or in the champions. I don't see Berchelt going in there against. If Berchelt does win this fight, hypothetically speaking, I don't see him going there lasting longer against an Earl Spence. I could see him and Keith Thurman going possibly 12 rounds, maybe a late round stoppage with Thurman winning. Danny Garcia, I don't know with that how that situation went. I don't know, but it's more of a crossroad fight for Berchelt than it is for Porter, because Porter can still get the top level competition more than Berchelt can, and Berchelt could pretty much if Berchelt wins it could be an upset. I'm just saying in a sense of if he beats Porter, that puts him back in the line of a title shot against whoever he could get, either Thurman or Garcia, depending on the situation going on, who wins that match, or possibly the winner of the Kell Brook or Spence situation. I'm not going to even mention Manny Pacquiao because we all know Bob Arum ain't throwing against him against any fighters, but that's what I see it as.
I mean, pretty much in the video I saw with Kenny Porter, it's looking like Berchelt don't want the fucking fight now, even though they were both saying we finna do this. I think Berchelt is trying to protect his. I think he's like right behind Amir Khan in the WBC rankings. So I think he's trying to protect that shit as much as possible. And you know, in the battle of midgets, you know, they both short than the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Porter is actually the big dog in the fight, man. I don't see it. I don't see it being a good fight for Berchelt either. I think that's something he's thinking about as well. You know, so I don't know, man. I'll go ahead and pass it on to you, TJ. What are your thoughts on this fight? If it does happen, because it's looking like it's up in the air after, you know, it was mentioned this really was official. You know, it was close to being finalized. What are your thoughts on this fight for both Berchelt and what it means to both of them, Berchelt and Porter?
Your comments about Berchelt acting as if he doesn't really want the fight. I mean, if that's the case, he's acting correctly. Because first of all, it's bullshit that he's even ranked that high by the WBC. Because the only motherfucker he beat was Victor Ortiz, and Victor Ortiz is known as the quitter. I mean, shit, if I want to get into boxing at the welterweight division, I want to fight Victor Ortiz so I can get my name out there. I mean, get the fuck out of here, dog. You know, of course I had to lose like 50 pounds to get there, but I'm just saying, 60 pounds, shit. But, I mean, come on, man. Andre Berchelt shouldn't even be ranked in the top 15, in my opinion, in the WBC, and he knows this. That's why trying to take on a guy like Sean Porter, man, he fuck around and get knocked out within 6 rounds. And, I mean, his newfound I won't say, well, yeah, fame. His newfound fame, the reset button that he hit on his career, he'll have to hit that motherfucker again if he fights a Sean Porter. Come on, man. Like, nah, man. He needs to be fighting. You know, he should try to fight. I think Frank Galarza came up from 140. He need to fight somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? That's
no,
who
he
should be fighting.
need to get his get back against Robert Guerrero, in my opinion.
Nah, man. Nah. Well, yeah. You know what? Fuck that. Yeah, I like that fight. I agree with that, Bernard. He do. Robert Guerrero would be a good fight. Try to get Aaron Martinez, punk ass in there that just beat Devin Alexander. I don't even know.
Are we basically saying Berchelt is the gatekeeper right now?
Pretty much.
But doesn't know it. Are we? Who's in agreement on that one?
Think about that. Yeah, I agree. Think about that. If Felix Diaz fought Andre Berto, what would happen?
He whooped his motherfucking ass. Yeah,
exactly.
He bust his ass.
And what is Felix Diaz right now? A guy trying to get a name for himself. That's the perfect fight for him to get his ass up in the fucking rankings, Andre Berto. So, yeah, he is a gatekeeper, absolutely. Journeyman / gatekeeper. And this is a sparring session for Sean Porter. If I'm Sean Porter, I'm like, oh, yeah, please, go ahead. Please, make a fight, dog.
Yeah, Sean Porter's usually the smaller man that fights, and this is fucking, like, they even height, so, and he's the stronger guy. Like, it's not a good matchup for Berto at this stage of his career. I personally think I can understand him trying to get his way out of it, but, yeah, man. Bo, you got anything you want to chime in on this one before we go into the next topic?
I'll keep it brief, man. 2K said it best. I think Andre Berto beat Victor. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He beat Victor Ortiz. And I hate to say it, man, Andre Berto been acting like, he can be choosy about who he fight and what he wanted to do. Now, I get his frustration with them saying the fight been done. He's like, man, I ain't talking to nobody and all that stuff. But, man, look, man, at the end of the day, like 2K said, Andre Berto is pretty much gatekeeper. And I agree with Bernard. He should get back against Robert the Ghost Guerrero because, you look at Sean, like, can we really say that Andre Berto can compete with the Thurman, the Spencers, the Sean Porters, and all them dudes? You know what I'm saying? So, that's my only thing is just, and I'm not trying to be too critical. It just seemed like ever since Floyd and ever since beating Victor Ortiz, man, Andre Berto is kind of acting like he can be choosy on his move.
Yeah.
Well, no, he needs to just get back against everybody he said he was, but he said in the video, I'm going for everybody that I lost to. Robert goes Guerrero, Ortiz. So you took out Ortiz, go for Guerrero, and go for Soto Carras, or whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? Go for him.
Soto Carras probably retired after the ass whooping he got.
Well, shoot, catch him in the gym then or something in the alley or some shit like that. Get back, man. Shit.
We finna get into our next topic, man. Actually, one of my a guy I enjoy watching for some reason. I have no clue why. Just fucking big, lanky ass dude in the smaller divisions. I don't know why they always intrigue me so much. Ranch's kid, Blas Barthélemy. He'll be looking for. He's going against Carol Relic in an IBF title eliminator at 140. Man, I'm actually happy. I like this fight, man. I actually seen Relic fight against Burns. I saw that fight, and I liked something I saw in him. I've always been a fan of Kid Blast as well. Even though he does some things that pisses me the hell off in every fight. But let me get you guys' thoughts on this fight. I'm gonna start off with Cubano Loco himself. Go ahead, bro.
Man, one thing I can tell you is he is definitely extremely excited about getting back in the ring. He's been out the ring for a while, so he's definitely excited about getting back in the ring and getting back to fighting. So I like the fight, but let's be real here. Sometime Barthélemy, like I said, when he fought Shabransky, man, I was just, oh God, I was kicking my fucking TV like, dude, why are you fighting this guy like that? And let me correct you real quick. My bad. Not Shabransky. You talking about Dennis Shafikov? Yeah, you're right. My bad. Dennis Shafikov. And I was, man, dude, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. My only issue with this is I don't want him to try to make a statement and get out of his game plan and give up his height, his reach again in another fight like this because that's not his forte. Like, I just really feel like Edizani Lauda and a lot of these guys, even the way Rico talking is, they want to change the way they fight to appeal to the fans And you can be susceptible to taking a loss once you start doing shit that you ain't never doing and never trained to do. You can put yourself out there and set yourself up for taking a loss. So that's my biggest fear with him is if he's trying to go out there, he hasn't been fighting for so long, he's eager, he tries to go out there, and he don't do what he's been doing over there in Mundo Boxing Gym and all of that. Man, this could probably in bad form. He has the skill set, he has the height and reach, but as we know, he has a tendency of giving that up. So, and then that ring rust. So it's a very interesting fight because it's a title eliminator fight, which will eventually, if he wins the title, then what's next for him? Are we talking Terrence Crawford? And if we talking Terrence Crawford, okay, well then if we talking Terrence Crawford, listen, let me say this right here, right now. If we talking Terrence Crawford, the day we have that conversation, Rance Bartholomew and Terrence Crawford, I'm gonna get sick out of nowhere, motherfuckers. I ain't talking.
all allegiance is gone, and they gonna have to revoke your Cuba card. Huh? Is that what you're telling me? They gonna have to revoke your Cuba card?
All I'm saying is, I'm gonna get sick out of nowhere. You motherfuckers are gonna get me on this show and fucking talk. I'm gonna get sick out of nowhere, motherfuckers. Y'all wanna hear what I got to say? Follow me on social media.
All right, man. Kell Brook, we actually, like I said, I've seen him in this fight against Ricky Burns. Pretty aggressive fighter. I think he likes to try and get guys out of there from what I can see. He's a KO puncher. That's his forte. He likes to knock motherfuckers out. And this is the situation where Bartholomew could get lured into a fight like he was against Shafikov, giving up his height. Although I think Shafikov was a whole lot better on the inside fighting than Relic. I just hate to see Bartholomew give up his natural tools like his reach and size over everybody like that, especially with a guy that's a bigger puncher. Thoughts on this fight, 2K? And this potential looming our effects on the 140 division. As you know, we got Ricky Burns and then Dungo going for a unification match, and he'd be in line the first one in line, I guess, if he wins this title eliminator. And how the fuck is Relic in a title eliminator after losing to the motherfucking title just a fight ago? What the fuck is that about?
I was just getting ready to say that. You already know what that's about, man. More bullshit in the sport of boxing. Look here, man. Relic is a guy that really ain't fought nobody, and he really ain't nobody. And he's already shown that his skill level is on the C level because he let garbage-ass Ricky Burns outbox the shit out of him for 12 rounds. So, in my opinion, man, this should be a very, 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 very easy fight for Francis Bartholomew. But this is contingent upon what Bo said, and I believe you touched a little bit, Twan. It's contingent upon him actually using his boxing ability in this fight and not getting drawn into a firefight. I mean, Relic is 21 and I think he's 21-1 with 19 knockouts, something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So obviously he's a big puncher. Now a lot of those majority of those 19 KOs and 21 wins come from guys that are C and D and F level fighters. He's never been in a ring with a guy as talented as Kid Blast. So with that said, he's coming into extremely new territory. He has nothing to lose. So you can actually put money on the fact or the idea that Relic could possibly feed right into Kid Blast's ability to outbox him. So this is really an example of a fight where the strategy is very easy. All you gotta do is execute it on Kid Blast's part. As far as the 140-pound division, I mean, I wanted him to stay at 135 and unify against Robert Easter Jr., but I didn't get my wish. So at 140, I would like to see him against, again, I still mention this man because he's still a person of interest at 140. Victor Postal, Adrian Broner. Shit, I like to see him against Adrian Granados if he beats, what's his name, Broner. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him against a lot of people at 140. There's a lot of fights there. Terrence Crawford, a guy that I talked to, man, he asked me who would I pick in that fight between Crawford and Bartholomew. My answer was Crawford because Bartholomew has lapses in his IQ. It will be a fight between which fighter is smarter. Crawford can box. Barthélemy can box. Crawford can switch. I don't know. I think I've seen Barthélemy switch before, but that's not.
Barthélemy can switch. Yeah, he can switch.
But that's not his thing.
He's not as effective with it. Yeah.
Right. That's not his thing. So they both can switch. Crawford's a better inside fighter in my opinion. Barthélemy can fight on the inside as well, though. But so this is they're pretty even as far as what they can do. But the IQ is what makes a difference. And Regis Barthélemy's IQ, he has lapses obviously against Denis Shafikov and fucking Mickey Bey. Okay, so he has lapses. I think Terrence Crawford would take advantage
Genis Mendez as well was another one. Genis Mendez, their first fight.
I think Terrence Crawford would take advantage of that lapse and pretty much not cruise to an easy victory, but I think he beats him unanimously. So, but it's still good matchups for him at 140, man. I'm interested to see where they go from here. But,
yeah, I definitely like to see him win. Go ahead. Well, I definitely like to see him become a champion in this third division. I was just gonna throw that, but go ahead, Bo.
No doubt.
But what 2K was saying about his lapses in his IQ, you know what? It's not so much as he get lapses. The problem with him is he gets comfortable in setting what he's doing when he's working, that it takes something to change in the fight for him to kind of amp it up a little bit. I've noticed that same thing you talking about with a lot of them Cuban fighters. They, for some reason, like they get comfortable and set. So once they get set, they don't think outside of that. They say they focus on just doing that until something changes. But that is something that if you get settled and set with Crawford, then, yeah, you're right. He will take advantage of that real quick.
Yeah.
I actually think like you said, it comes down to Barthélemy being disciplined in his game plan because we've seen Crawford have to do some things against rangier fighters like DeLorme. You know, in the DeLorme fight, DeLorme is a lot rangier and taller. You know, he's not as big as Kid Blast, but, you know, he was taller and bigger than TC by just a little bit. And, you know, he the first couple of rounds, he was really effective against Crawford. So, like I said, I think Barthélemy can do some things effectively, but it's maintaining that over the duration of 12 rounds against a guy like Crawford that's so fucking disciplined. I mean, and can make adjustments as well on the fly. So, you know, that's something to watch out for. But I think he could be effective early, you know, using his superior size advantages in reach if he's stuck to it. That's the thing, though. He might get comfortable and get lapsed. TC can turn up the pressure, and he can get inside. You know, that's Crawford can find his ways around the ring, man. And, you know, eventually I can see TC winning the fight, you know, unanimous decision over the 12. But, you know, I think he would have some good rounds early on, like we always see. That said, he is going for something that we haven't seen any other Cuban fighter do, which is win the titles in 3 divisions. I think Casamoyor and Gamboa has only done 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, it is something, you know, history on the line here. Ricky Burns is a very winnable fight for him if he gets past Ndongo in their unification bout. So, you know, I'm actually rooting for him to get it. We're going to go into our next topic, man, which is a pretty good one. It's going to be on the undercard of Adrian Broner versus Adrian Granados in a couple weeks. King Pete, man, he's stepping on the 147 scene officially, and he's coming out. Yeah. He going for. I guess he's fighting the WBA for the WBA welterweight strap against a guy that was supposed to be Thurman's mandatory for like the past 2 goddamn years. David Abnasian. Quick thoughts on the 2K on this fight, man.
Well, I'm about to piss Bernard off. Yo, your boy should have stayed at 140, man. There's no way Lamont Peterson survives at 147, looking at how Lucas Matisse knocked his ass out 4 rounds, and then he knocked the nigga down by an arm punch. I mean, get the fuck out of here, man. Look, I like Lamont. You know, I thought he beat Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? I thought he beat Danny Garcia. I thought he got his ass drugged by Felix Diaz. He's a B level fighter, man, and he will never ever get past B level. He's one of those type of guys that if you're not on your game plan, you will lose to him. kind of like Devin Alexander. If he's a B-level guy, he looks like he could be A-level, but he'll never get beyond that. And if you're not on your game plan, you can fucking lose to him. But if you are on your game plan, you can whitewash Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? I think guys like fucking Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Errol Spence, all whitewash him, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, fighting David Avanesyan, this is the guy that beat an old-ass Shane Mosley. That's the only guy on his fucking record with Shane Mosley. This is a good fight for him. Still, if Avanesyan is able to use distance, use his boxing ability, he could beat Lamont. I don't think he will, but he can. You know what I'm saying? So this will be a situation where Lamont becomes a WBA champion probably at 147, but can't do shit with the belt because he can't beat nobody. At 147, he'll have to fight a bunch of. Well, look, the WBA will have whack niggas ranked for him, so he can fight them and probably defend his belt against a bunch of whack ass niggas. But when it comes time to unify or it becomes time to fight somebody else, man, that's up and coming like Felix Diaz again, or maybe an Errol Spence, slice out, fam.
Let's put it in this perspective then, because I pretty much think King Peter's gonna take the WBA strap in this fight, the regular version. That's my prediction right now. So Thurman being a super WBA, seeing if he gets past Garcia, victoriously. The potential for that fight, him against a Thurman, I don't know what it is. It's just something about Thurman. I think the power, thing is actually going to overwhelm Lamont personally.
Absolutely.
But let me get you guys' take on that as well. Just that looming fight, something that's a possible fight as far as him and Thurman having to fight in a WBA unification to consolidate the belt.
I would have Thurman by 8 knockout. Lamont Peterson's chin, while it's okay, if you hit him right, he's out of there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Lucas Matisse has shown. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's too much of a power difference between Lucas Matisse and Keith Thurman. I think Lucas may hit a little bit harder, but it's not a glaring difference. Plus, Keith Thurman is very smart with his punch placement. Nigga knows where to hit you and how to get you out of there. So, I think he would be out of there, man, within 8. I mean, I'm looking at the rankings. I mean, he'd have to fight niggas like Jesse Vargas, dog. Like, I mean, come on, man. He should have stayed at 140. I'm sorry, dog.
Bernard, anything? Let me get your thoughts on it, man. King Pete going for a WBA strap in his first fight at 147.
I'm not going to disrespect the guy. I'm going to say this. I'm glad that King Pete is going for the belt. I think he'll do exceptionally well, contrary to what 2K, the guy, has said against certain fighters. I think if he get a rematch against Garcia, he beat him. Keith Thurman, he ain't going down in no 8 rounds. I think he'll go to the decision. No, he's not. You know what? You know he's not. I got faith in King Pete. You hear me? I got faith in you, Lamont. Don't let this man. Hey, Lamont, holler at your boy. Come on the show, man. Shit.
Oh, man.
I'm on my fanboy shit.
Hell yeah. Oh,
no, but for real though, let me be honest. I think I'm really surprised he's even having a title shot. I thought the next fight after Diaz, he would go against I want to say maybe an Aaron Martinez type of fighter or Samuel Vargas before he heads up to go against a contender. So he's going against a champion. I see him. It's going to be a fight. I think he's going to win a decision. I'm not going to say easily. I'm going to give it 116, 112. But if he gets a fight against, if he unifies against Keith Thurman, I can see him going 12 rounds. Garcia, again, 12 rounds. Earl Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. That is a train wreck waiting to happen. No, don't do that to him.
Second round.
No.
That is a quick derailment. That is a quick derailment, and I'm a King Pete fan. You know what I'm saying? But I know what the fuck I'm saying with Spence. That's just what it is.
Hey, I'm not gonna say no second round stoppage, man. I'm gonna go. Oh man, it's hurting me right now.
Now, I'm gonna touch on something else, man. If I'm Felix Diaz right now, I'm raising hell with somebody. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm raising motherfucking hell with somebody. This motherfucker could get a title shot. I'm fighting in between two goddamn divisions. I obviously beat this guy that's fighting for a title in his first fight in the division. Man, I'm fucking furious if I'm Felix Diaz right now. Because this is some bullshit. Lou DiBella, get on your motherfucking game. My boy needs a title shot. He needs to be in there against somebody.
Who is managing Felix Diaz?
He's with Heyman, and Lou DiBella is his promoter. So he needs somebody to be.
Hey, then you got to say that's that inside. I hate to say that's some inside politics going on between Heyman and DiBella, just Heyman with who he wants to go out there.
You think he paying DiBella off to keep DiBella fighters off of whooping somebody's ass? Because I'm I'm at a loss here. Fucking King Pete ain't fought in fucking almost a year and a half or how long has it been since his last
that
fight?
And Diaz got to beat who did he beat? He beat Sammy Vasquez.
Sammy Vasquez, yeah.
And
he fought after that too, Bernard. He fought after that. He beat Sammy Vasquez, and then he beat some nigga named Levis Morales. Like, give the nigga his shot.
Just recently.
Hey, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Like I said, something. Now we don't know what the WBA rankings is. I know this though. I will say this: King Pete did a fight Earl Spence in that title, obvious title eliminator.
Oh my God! You just want your boy to get murked, man.
I said he didn't.
Oh,
he didn't. Damn, 2K. Listen, bro, I said he didn't. He didn't take that fight. So I'm kind of like, yo, man, you should have took that fight. But I understand you don't want the young gun to make a name off of you. You want to, get you a belt or whatever. I'll put it like this. The reason why King Pete can't stay in a 140-pound position because his body can't do it no more. In that fight against Diaz, his stomach was cramping up. If you saw him leaning on the ropes and then one time rubbing his stomach had muscle cramps in his stomach. So basically, he can't make the weight. So I can only see, I hate to say it, he'll probably just be a gatekeeper at 147.
But he will get a title.
But he will
the thing about it. He'll get a title, which is fucked up. And Diaz can't get a shot with nobody.
Oh.
Hey, wait, hold on. You Dominican Twine?
No, man, but I'm finna be down there in a couple months while you on it. I'm finna be down there and shit. So I can be one temporarily.
Man, you just be a fanboy so you get some of his hoes, man. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. Oh, man. I knew there was something else, man.
Damn.
All right, we gonna go. We pretty much got one card. One fight. Well, a couple fights I'm interested in this week. It's not really anything mainstream or nothing like that, but we're going to touch on one of them. Probably the biggest fight this week coming up. Sammy Vasquez making his return to the ring after getting his ass whooped by Felix Diaz, the man we were just talking about. And I guess he had a surgery post-fight or some shit. He'll be taking on Louis Collazo this weekend, or I believe Wednesday. It might be on Wednesday. Like it's one of those midweek fights, I think.
February 2nd.
Yeah. Let me get you guys' thoughts on this fight. Definitely, what do they call those kind of fights? I won't say transition, but it's definitely make or break for both of them. You can say. Sad to say for Sammy Vasquez because it's still early in his career to be saying.
No, man, you think so? He only lost one fight though.
Nah,
yeah,
man.
But fucking this Louis Collazo fight though, when you fighting a Louis Collazo, that makes you wonder some things. So, let me go ahead and get 2K's breakdown analysis of what we can expect in this fight, predictions, and any implications it could have on the fighters' careers, man.
I agree 100% with what you said. This is a make or break fight simply because Sammy Vasquez's last fight was when you have a fight between two prospects and one of those prospects gets thoroughly outclassed, man, his stock takes a major hit because a prospect is, in essence, a fighter that the boxing world has their eye on and says that guy can be world champion, but we're not sure yet. Let's see what he can show us, right? When you got thoroughly outclassed by another guy that's getting looked at the same way, you take a major hit because it's like, oh, well, you couldn't beat that prospect. Go to the back of the bus now. You know what I'm saying? We don't give a fuck about you no more. That's why he has to take a fight like take a fight with a guy like Louis Collazo, because Collazo is obviously on the decline. You know what I'm saying? His last 3 fights, he's 1-2. You know what I'm saying? And the one win he got was against a fucking nobody. He lost to Keith Thurman and got thoroughly outboxed by Amir Khan. Also, dude is like, what, 30? Well, how old is he? Like 30? Shit, 35?
30, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 35 years old. He's been all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Been in the game for a long time. So he's on the decline. He's on his way out the sport. So if Sammy Vasquez can't beat this guy, then yeah, he's pretty much done for. For a little while at least. I mean, he's a young cat. Actually, he's not that young. He's 30. So yeah, he'd be done for. You know what I'm saying? So as far as in the fight, I think it's a dangerous fight. I thought it was a dumb fight for Sammy Vasquez to choose. Now, I got to respect him because after getting thoroughly outclassed, he's going against a veteran, a cagey veteran that in one fight he can look like shit, but the fight after, the nigga can look like, you know, he's ready to reinvigorate his career. So it'll be a situation of which Louis Collazo we get. And based on the styles, you know, Sammy Vasquez, he's tries to be like a boxer puncher, but he doesn't really have like, I don't like Sammy Vasquez's footwork as a boxer puncher. He doesn't have the defense. He doesn't really judge distance well as a boxer puncher either. So I think his style is, looking at the matchups, I think Louis Collazo has an excellent chance to beat him. And that's why I think this is a very dangerous fight for Vasquez, especially with his career on the line. So it's a good fight, man. It's something that I'm definitely going to be looking close at because I want to see how Sammy Vasquez actually responds. And we've already seen Collazo against another boxer puncher in Keith Thurman, and you saw what happened when he touched that jello pudding of a body. You know what I'm saying? Same thing could happen here with Sammy Vasquez because he doesn't box on Keith Thurman's level, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you're still talking about that body shot to this day from Collazo against Thurman. You know, people still talk about it, and you know that's something that people are actually looking to aim to exploit against Keith now when they go against him. So you know, like you said, he's a cagey guy. You know, he came out of nowhere. I know Victor Ortiz ain't really nobody to be speaking on, but like you said, we thought Collazo was at the end of his ropes in that fight already. You know, he shot us in. So let me get everybody else's take. Bo, early prediction or actually I didn't get a prediction from you on that. Did you didn't give a prediction on that, TK? Who do you think will win the fight?
Man, shit. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Sammy Vasquez only because, and I'm hedging this shit, dog. Only because I don't know what Louis Collazo we're gonna get. I don't know. If we get the one that fought Victor Ortiz, he'll win this fight. But if we get the one that fought Amir Khan and Keith Thurman, Sammy Vasquez should take it.
Okay. Let me go ahead and pass it on to Bo. Let me get your thoughts on the fight and a quick prediction from you.
I'm going to disagree, and this is why I like this show, because I get to disagree with that light-skinned motherfucker, and I love disagreeing with him. I just love it. I don't know why you always with that light-skinned motherfucker.
You always lose the debates. I don't know why you disagree.
No, motherfucker, I ain't. It ain't nowhere on recorded record that I lost the debate. And let me say this right here, by the way. I know who put that fucked up picture of me up online. I'm going to get your ass for that shit.
Come on, man.
I know.
I told you I was going
which is why you should not have fell asleep on my podcast, motherfucker.
Oh, wow. I hope y'all didn't get no screenshots of that shit.
Yeah, motherfucker, you going to have sperm juice coming off your lip when I'm done with you.
It's on YouTube, so you can screenshot.
The only reason why I disagree is because after that knockout, and it was such a bad knockout that Collazo suffered at the hands of Errol Spence, I just kind of question what he has left, and I think that's what Sammy Vasquez and his team is questioning also, that he might not have nothing left after that type of brutal knockout beating that he took.
Collazo ain't fighting no Errol Spence, nigga. You talking about Keith Thurman?
Yeah, shit, damn, I'm sorry, Keith.
If you're gonna disagree, get the goddamn fighters right,
man,
nigga.
Fuck, Keith Thurman. I think, damn, man, I am. I'm fucking confused. I'm thinking Bundu. Nah,
you thinking everything right now, nigga.
Yeah, I think the reason why they picking Collazo because they're probably wondering what does he have left. If he just doesn't have that much left. Because he did kind of, even though he did hurt Keith Thurman, but he did kind of struggle toward the end of that. Thurman kind of was able to get to him. Like, he hurt Keith, but then Keith hurt him back, and he wound up quitting. So they probably wondered, hey, what does this dude have left? So from that aspect of it, I see them taking the fight. But the problem with that is what is the mentality of Vargas? Because he took an ass whooping. I mean, he took an ass whooping. So if their thinking is, okay, we're not going to put him in a dangerous fight because we want to get his mental aspect back on him, and we're going to fight a guy who we question the mental aspect, that could backfire on you because, regardless of how you feel, Collazo is a veteran, and what they say about, cornering a wounded animal. So it's interesting from that aspect, but I do agree with 2K with his whole reason for breaking down why this is a bad fight for Sammy Vargas, because you are a prospect, and as a prospect, you got beat really bad by Felix Diaz. Now the good thing is not a lot of people is writing him off for that loss to Felix Diaz because everybody knows Felix Diaz's resume. People feel like he did beat Lamont Peterson, so he's not being wrote off that bad. But I do agree, if he loses to Luis Collazo, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, I mean, that's it. Like, that's really it for him. Because how do you even justify him still being mentioned? Like, if he loses to Luis Collazo, it's going to be a really tough, hard road coming back for him for a defeat like that. So I'm interested because you got two guys from a mental aspect that might not be there because of the type of fights they be in. But the difference is, at least I know Collazo will bring something. I'm really questioning Sammy Vasquez because that beating he took, like, he didn't even look right when the fight was over after fighting Felix Diaz. I mean, did you see him in that back room? He looked like he was questioning if he wanted to keep fighting. Yeah, he really questioned, like, do I even want to keep fighting?
And this is a war veteran here. So, he got a whooping put on him by another colonel from a foreign army, a foreign service.
Yep.
But with that said, man, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Bernard. What are your expectations for the fight? And did I cut you off before you got your prediction in, Bo?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't make a prediction. It's kind of hard to make a prediction. I gotta start making sure we get predictions from everybody, man. Yeah, it's kind of hard to make a prediction because I don't know. I'm gonna go with Sammy Vasquez. I'm gonna pick this with my heart. I'm gonna go with Sammy Vasquez because he does have the ability to. What the fuck is you laughing for, nigga?
Because you said I was picking my heart. You said you were picking my heart.
I want to see Sammy Vasquez win, man. I don't want to look at this and say this is the end of a dude that started out like he had a prominent career.
Hey, man, that nigga both soft. First he talking about, yeah, man, that was great sportsmanship. Now this nigga talking about picking by his heart. Nigga,
nah, this motherfucker, nigga, bro, is respectful. Y'all can learn when you motherfuckers get this age, y'all gonna learn. Be respectful.
Shut your boys to men.
You just trying to get us from taking out back and shooting your ass like Gold Yellow. That's all it is. That's why you be on that shit. Bernard, let me go ahead and pass it on to you, man. Your thoughts on the fight and a quick prediction.
Man, I'm just listening to both of you guys break it down. I was a fan of Sammy Vasquez when he came in. I'm not picking with my heart. I'm just gonna pick this. This is my fuckery pick. Collazo.
It ain't a fuckery pick, Bernard, because I'm actually. It's not a fuckery pick at all.
Hold on. I didn't say what round though, because we know what happened last time when I picked the round. I was off by 1. I'm going Luis Collazo, 7th round TKO.
Wow. And you know, the funny thing is, man, it's actually something that can happen. Motherfucking Sammy Vasquez is there for him to be hit. He's not going to be moving around the ring the way Keith Thurman was, and Collazo had to actually find him to get that body shot in. He's going to be in his motherfucking face. And, you know, that's something I think is going to be the telling sign of the fight. Collazo has a lot of scar tissue around his face and been battered in many fights. So can Vasquez get him battered enough to get him to stop and quit? They're going to be in each other's grill, man. I'm expecting a lot of fireworks in this fight, actually, personally. That's my prediction as far as that. As far as winner, man, damn. I kind of want to go with Collazo, man. I don't know why. There's just something about the kind of whooping that Vasquez took and him being there for Collazo to in his face. You know, he ain't got to find, you know, search, seek, and destroy. You know, he's going to be in his face because that's just his skill set. You know, Vasquez isn't a big mover, and his foot, you know, he's not a big utilizer of the ring, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I actually kind of want to piggyback and say I think Collazo will win this fight. I'm not going to say it's going to be no knockout, but I think I could actually see him winning the decision. So I think I'm going to lean towards Collazo in this one, man. With that said, we're going to go into our UOENO segment for the week, man, and start wrapping up. On this day in 1994, one of my favorite freaking pay-per-view cards ever in Las Vegas, back during TVKO days, man. Frankie Randall, he hands Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. his first official defeat in Las Vegas to win the WBC Super Lightweight title, man. That shit brings back so many fucking memories, dog. Just the kind of cards we used to see on pay-per-view back then compared to what we see now. Man, that was a spectacular card, and you know, he actually knocked down Julio Cesar Chavez, which was an incredible feat in itself at the time because he hadn't seen the canvas or anything like that before. So yeah, that was you know, they call him Frankie the Surgeon Randall. Yeah, he definitely was tactical. He was a surgeon on that ass that night. That said, I'm not sure who the final blow was on this week because I stay forgetting the shit.
Bernard.
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead, Bernard. I'm gonna let Mr. Fuckery the casual.
The whole show, and you now want to play me like that? Okay.
Man, you said like final blow number 2, number 3. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, because y'all motherfuckers was going in. Y'all was taking shots, man. Definitely an option, man. But damn, I mean, shit. Okay. My final blow happens to be on the Amir Khan versus Kell Brook situation. Now, last week I wanted to do the final blow because Amir Khan decided he wanted to be out here making solo dolo sex tapes, but yeah, I mean, but you know what? Right now, I'll put it like this: if we see Victor Ortiz and Brandon Rios fight, those two got bad blood between each other. Why can't y'all make this fight happen? Y'all can solve this problem right now.
Exactly.
Kell Brook and Amir Khan signed a contract, 2-fight or 3-fight contract or whatever you want to do it to get to that fight. Kell Brook fights Earl Spence. Win or lose, he takes on Amir Khan. Amir Khan takes I hate to say I don't want to say a tune-up fight, but a fight to test his dick beater to see if he is able to, you know, the one he had surgery on. Tested in another fight. If he wins or loses, he takes on Brook. 60-40, get it over with. I'm tired of you motherfuckers getting online, tweeting and shit, talking all this shit, but don't want to go at it. And it's not even on Kell Brook's side because Kell Brook knows he got a problem in Earl Spence. It's now Amir Khan. Amir Khan, you send all these stipulations, man, dude. You've been taking consistent L's in the ring and out of the ring. You got knocked out by Canelo. You posted might have had a reality TV show. Then your parents are fighting with your wife. It's becoming big news. Now you called out here playing with your dick to a model. I mean, and making a sex tape out of it. I mean, God, yo, I'm gonna tell you how you can do. Hey, yo, I'm gonna be real though. I'm just being real. Yo, if you're afraid to lose Amir Khan, that's what you need to do, right? If you just in case you lose to Kell Brook, and I'm doing this only because Twine needs this in his life. You need to make a sex tape with your wife, and after you lose to Kell Brook, drop that shit.
Why Twine need it in his life though?
Hey.
Oh, because why Twine need it in his goddamn life?
Hold on. Because you was disappointed. You was disappointed when you found out it wasn't his wife. It was him and his ding-a-ling. He was playing with his ding-a-ling, dog. So no, I'm telling, hey yo, what you do, dog? Just if you afraid to lose that much, get your payday in UK, and if you lose, man, shit, throw that sex tape out there, and you sell it to Pornhub, dog, or whoever you gotta sell it to get some more money. You be good.
Oh my goodness.
The fuckery is real.
Yeah.
I mean, if you lose to Amir Khan, hey, it is what it is. Get your payday. More than what you got to get.
He said he get a double pay. He said he get a double payday, huh?
Man, yeah, man, yo, because hey, you need some W's in your life, bro. I think you're afraid to take that L against Brooks, so you might as well prepare for one W, which is you'll get that paycheck in the UK. Get another W if you make a sex tape with your with your wife, not you, with your wife. Make a sex tape. If not, do one of those foot fetishes with your wife or whatever and put her out there or solo dolo with her, just her playing with herself. Shit, throw her ass out there. Hey, here's the third W. Go on and have that reality TV show. Shit.
Oh my goodness.
And I purposely, I'm not done. I purposely did not watch 2K Excess. When they went in on Amir Khan, I watch it now, but I purposely did not want to watch it because I didn't want to hear what they had to say because I know they went in. So
that's a motherfucking way to end the show, man. Like goddamn, I don't want to say nothing else to ruin that one. That shit was hilarious. Man, wow. Yeah, that's gonna conclude our show, man. We're gonna be back again next week with some more fuckery from the casual himself, man. Big up, he got his platform starting with our brother Malachi this week. You know, he got another show he popping off. So
Malachi Bernard versus everybody.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give everybody a chance. Yeah, I'm gonna give everybody a chance to. That shit is gonna be fuckery for real. If you know Malachi, he comedy as hell. You know that's like our white brethren. That's white chocolate right there, man. Been one of our biggest supporters, like one of the extended members of our family of the movement, man. So big up to him and what y'all got going. I know it's gonna be some hot shit on there. I'm looking forward to it personally. With that said, we're going to conclude our show, man. I'm Twine the Divine Liberty of HoopJab.com. I got my co-host with me, Bone Bernard of The Truth and Facts About Boxing. And we got 2K from the guys of Boxing Talk holding it down for our brother Big Cool from Colossal Boxing Talk. Hopefully his big sloppy ass be on next week, nigga. With that said, we out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.